one side, the season is drawing to a close. For the other, it is drawing to an unexpected climax. From the city of churches, Adelaide is at home to Richmond on Saturday night's footy.
Yes, it's round 22 and Saturday night football continues. Hello everyone and welcome once again to Football Park. The Crows are not going to be in the finals, but the Tigers certainly are. A couple of key results today. Carlton have finished with 20 wins for the year. A wonderful performance and they'll be flag favourites after cleaning up Essendon, and Geelong flexing their muscles too. Far too good for Hawthorn. But the interest, of course, is in the ladder. The unsettled spots are those in red. Carlton and Geelong have the double chance at the top, and Brisbane will know tomorrow, Malcolm Blight, if they're going to be playing in the finals for the first time. Good evening to you.
Yes, good evening, Sandy. Yes, Richmond, it is a big game for them. They either play West Coast or North Melbourne, so fair bit hinging on the result.
Well, I think too, with 40,000 fans here at Football Park, it's a big game for this crew.
Yes, and Chris McDermott, will it be his last game? Being captain of the Crows, been a terrific player for them. And also Simon Tregenza's probably been their best player of the last month, in very good form at the moment.
Well, the Tigers, of course, back in the finals for the first time in 13 years and back to on the tracks last week.
Yes, it was a terrific win against Collingwood. John Northey done a wonderful job with them. Wayne Campbell, is he the Brownlow medal favourite? Everyone seems to think he might be. And of course, Scotty Turner at full-back on the return to form. Modra has a big job tonight.
The 1995 AFL Premiership season. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, McDonald's, Mobil, Carlton Draft and National Australia Bank.
Well, it's a real hit-and-run mission for the Tigers here at Football Park tonight. They came over on the 5 p.m. plane and are hoping to take away the 4 premiership points a little bit later on tonight. Stay with us on Saturday Night Football and see if they can.
The A to Z of the sporting week is here on 7 every Sunday morning on Sports World.
Welcome back to Football Park in South Australia. Well, the Crows are going to go out with a bang. It's a real carnival festival atmosphere here in Adelaide tonight. Wonderful night, a cool evening, and who knows, the fireworks could be just starting. There's Nick Daffy, who's been a sensational player for the Tigers so far this year. Our boundary rider once again is the king, Neil Kerley, and I'm sure he and 40,000 screaming fans would love something to take into summer to remember King.
Hi Sandy, thanks for that. Well, it's a pity that people in Melbourne just couldn't see the dancing girls perform out here. They were 5 years ago, they were about 17, 18. They were good then, they are fantastic now. And Tony Hall and Tony McGuinness, they just couldn't take their eyes on. But no, look, fantastic conditions, great atmosphere, and it promised to be a very, very good football match. I saw both these sides last week. I think their key is their midfield, in particular Knights, Campbell and Broderick for the Richmond, and Tregenza, Rashido, Jarman and Liptak all play well for the Crows. Promise to be a great game. Looking forward to it.
Good on you, Kerl. Settle yourself down, and good evening to Dennis Cometti. Welcome, Den.
Hello, Sandy. Expecting a good game. I think the Tigers narrowly.
A full house here at Football Park once again. We've come to inspect that. Liptak, Campbell jostling in the middle, but the bounce is going to get underway. It's won by Pittman. Knights is playing his 150th game tonight. A wonderful performance. He'll be looking for a big one for the Tigers. Here's Broderick. Had another successful season. Punts it down towards half forward, but Connell is there to defend. Gives it away to the running Nigel Smart. Maxfield in hot pursuit, but he gets it clear to the outer side of the ground. Bauer leads Tregenza. Tregenza's been in lightning form. Still on the outer wing. Needs help and gets it from Tyson Edwards. Edwards flicks it up towards half forward. There'll be a mighty roar if they can get the first score. Visca tried to keep it in. It'll come back to that player once again. He's in trouble. Goes to ground. And the umpire will come in and decide upon a bounce. David Howlett, Matthew Norden and Mark Westgard are the gentlemen in white in charge tonight.
Perfect night for footy. Hardly any breeze. Quite warm as the Rucks go at it. That's Broderick. Bounces it out towards half-back. Tregenza got it from Jarman. In a tight situation. Connell chips it out wide back to Jarman. Right on the 50. Well played. Jarman has had a great season. Goes long down towards full forward. Turner behind. And across the line it goes for behind. Tony Modra. Back in form last week.
Hart has actually picked up Wayne Campbell. So Ben Hart running around with Campbell, and Liptak has picked up Matthew Knight. A couple of interesting on-ball moves by Robert Shaw.
Scott Turner, members side with a kick. It hangs in the air. Bullis almost completed the mark. It fell in front. Hart, tackled by Kellaway, dragged down, holding the ball, the decision. Free kick to the Tigers.
So Kellaway hasn't missed a game this year, this young man. Kicks it up towards left half forward. They all fly a little too early. Naish waiting down. A couple of grabs. Time to steady. Now it's Richmond who go down towards the attacking zone. Again, Tregenza defends. Off towards Bickley. To McCartney, he's under pressure. He loses the football. Broderick tries to sneak out the back door. Does so towards Rogers. Rogers is 60 metres out. Keeps the ball in play. Down towards full forward, and Wayne Campbell takes the mark directly in front.
Yes, that was a fantastic kick that from Rogers then. I thought Justin Charles was on. You'll just see him out there with a great lead, but he actually hooked the ball back to Campbell as Hart tried to read the play going out the Charles direction.
Playing in his 95th game, and he's had a red-hot year, as Wayne Campbell, and he started tonight in okay fashion as well.
Yes, he's certainly been a very good player for Richmond, and something's happened at Richmond, and this is one of the players. He really has improved. Broderick was just terrific in a tight situation there. That is just class. Not to unload the footy as many players do. I really think he had poise in Rogers, and the skill was terrific to finish off.
So the Tigers on top by 5 points, the early going here at Football Park. Pittman and Dia, won by the former. Liptak kicks it down towards half foot. In fact, it floats well inside the 50. Modra bounced off his chest, socketed forward. An involuntary action, I think, by Broderick, who gets back now and picks it up, carries it across the line, concedes a behind. Throws second, and they trail by 4 points.
Pretty big compliment John Northey here is playing to Andrew Jarman. Duncan Kellaway picks him up. Probably the best stopper in the Richmond side.
This is Tate. Thought about going. He's up from the back pocket. Kicks high towards the wing. 2-on-1 situation. Knights on his chest. Matthew Knights. Little chip pass. Up ahead Rogers. Just forward of the wing. Goes for distance. Jurica comes on a searching lead. Will contest just inside the 50. Bounces off his chest and across the boundary line.
Yes, Dennis, that's where I really like to see young players putting their hands out in front of their body, keep the fist out of it from the opposition player, and I think he could have got that if he put his hands out rather than try and take it on his chest.
He's kicked 19 goals in a short season, Jurica, but he's a very exciting prospect. Over the line once again.
You get the feeling with Jurica, his figures so far in his career don't reflect his ability.
As we said, very pleasant night in Adelaide tonight for football. Edwards defends from the half-back flank, kicks back towards centre wing, a big pack of players. Bond is waiting at the back. He's under real pressure, however, and it's seen over on centre wing. Anthony McLeod and Ashley Prescott make sure it's over. Richmond 6-4 on to take the 4 premiership points in this game. Adelaide against to finish with a win.
Great decision then, jumped on the footy. He's done that twice for Shudo now. Interesting tactics, normally a player that likes to keep the ball going.
Here's Broderick. Up towards half forward and a big pack of players. Maxfield was waiting down. He did get a hand to it. Rogers ridden into the ground. The umpire lets play go on. Naish tries to flick it out. He does towards Broderick again. This time the right foot to half forward. It's quite effective. Jarman slings Justin Charles to the ground, but all too late.
There's Broderick again getting the quick kick, and Charles just too big there for Jarman. Interesting play there. There must have been 20 players around that mark at centre half forward then. Richmond very predictable with their play. They like going long to centre half forward.
We mentioned Matthew Knight's playing his 150th. Charles is playing his 50th game tonight. Can he start it off with a lovely looking kick in towards full forward? He certainly can.
Paul Broderick has started very well. 4 possessions already. 1 down by Pittman. 10 points the margin for the Tigers. Speak of the devil. Well, the Tiger, he gets it away. Kellaway prods it out wide. Now an opportunity for Maxfield. Well played. Knocked the ball onto his own advantage. Still he goes. Was leg. Must get a free kick. Well, nothing forthcoming. Now it's out of bounds on the full. Naish knocking it against Connell. It seemed that man's free initially. Watch it again. Well, not much doubting that still. The kick has been taken back towards the middle, down off hands. Connell to Rashuda, boots it back towards half-back, and that's a terrific mark. Bickley lunging forward, taking it close to the ground. Edwards, good pick-up this season, a youngster, just embarking on his career. Bond, a man who's been around a while, and a fine player, the best and fairest last season for the Tigers. He puts in every week. Bond towards centre half forward. Charles goes up one-handed. Daffy off his step, long towards full forward. Jurica had it knocked away by Jamison. The sharpshooter waiting down in front. Naish has got some problems. Jurica, 25 metres out, snaps. It slides across the face. Gale had it knocked away by Smart. And now Maynard
has got a chance to clear, and he goes wide to the outer side. The Crows' defence under plenty of pressure. Visca caught one, and he's got a free kick. Wants to go on with the job, and he does to Jarman. Been one of the best for the Crows this year. He finds Pittman. He's had to shoulder the big man department towards Tony Modra. Bond defends towards the boundary line, and it goes out of the arms of McLeod and over for trouble. Tigers looking for a top 3 spot. Broderick again towards centre wing. Cluster of players, but no one able to get clear. It's locked up there. Chris McDermott in picture. Is this his last game for his beloved Crows? Been a mighty player and a mighty captain. Still on centre wing. Bickley. High towards the 50-metre line. McLeod almost. Clever little tap towards Bond is effective. But a push has been picked up. The football's going to come back.
It's like a lot of these mid-sized players, Sandy, haven't they? Just looking around then. Knights, Bond, Kellaway, Rogers, Campbell. Terrific midfield.
Here's Knights towards centre wing. Campbell in the right spot in front of the pack. Just a deft little chip in towards Prescott, who's in the centre. He has a look up towards half forward. He wants Charles. And he's got here with a fine mark. Off he goes to Stewie Maxfield. The Tigers on the run here at Football Park.
Great start by the Tigers, on top now by 16 points. Pittman had to wait. Falls to Rashuda. Broderick knocked it down. Jarman plays on immediately. Goes inside the 50. Robran about 35 metres out. Jarman has started well as well. 5 possessions for him. He was burning last time these two sides met back in round 7. 13 possessions. There he is.
I can't believe that kick under pressure, Dennis. That was a sensational kick.
13 possessions in the opening term against the Tigers back in round 7. Now a chance for the Crows to get their first goal, and the kick is very good. Robran posts the goal.
Yes, and goes straight over and congratulates Andrew Jarman, because that's what set it up. It was just a terrific kick under pressure. It almost looked as though he'd played on too quick. If we look at this again, you can see that, I mean, he almost had a half a metre to work in. I can't believe that. That is terrific stuff. Robran now being moved back to the forward pocket. So Robert Shaw making some changes on the forward line.
So the Crows on the board. 10 points the margin. Pittman does it, and Rashuda rips them out of the middle. Down towards the forward line again. Down towards Robran, who almost picked it up on the half volley. Quick to claim Bullis. It spills free to Tape. He gets a high kick. It's wide, and it may be out on the full. It is, and the informed Tregenza brings it back into play. To half forward. Broderick almost called out. Pittman comes over the top and takes a fine mark. The Crows have gone up again. A Modra. Can't mark. Snapped off the ground, in towards the right forward pocket region, and over it goes. Matthew Liptak was the player who did it, and we'll have a throw-in in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, nearly a wonderful grab there from Modra. Turner just enough pressure and presence to push the ball away.
Robran and Bullis contesting. Liptak will have another shot. Closer, behind this time.
Not a bad effort from there. Matthew Liptak, who's been in pretty good form in recent weeks. Good to see him back. 9-18. Turner boots in. His side on top. Smart from behind. Defiant Fist knocks it down in front. This is Tate. One of 5 former South Australians playing for the Tigers tonight. Bullis another one and another one. As if on cue. Rogers inside the 50. Going back down there. Edwards sliding in McDermott after Edwards couldn't control the ball. And a whistle. The dugout for the Adelaide Crows. Brown, Wiedemann and Pesh. From far to near. McCartney straight to Naish. Doesn't normally miss these. Hasn't missed this one. Great goal.
They've each had 4 shots at goal, but the Tigers have been accurate. Look at Campbell out of the middle. No wonder he's one of the Brownlow favourites. Long kick up towards full forward. It bounces clear. No one able to take it for Richmond. It's gone straight to him though, and he's kicked another one. That's 5 in a row. Brendon Gale has his first and his 27th for the season.
Yes, the work out of the middle then was very good by Campbell. Just had evasive skills. I love this kick back to the front of the goal square. Not enough players do that. They don't put pressure on the front of the goals, and McCartney just unloads it under pressure, and lucks of fortune as it ends up with Benny Gale. But great attacking the front of the goal square.
So it's down to 21 points already. Bunks go at it. Broderick. Bauer out of the congestion. Down towards half forward. Naish knocked it away. Visca held a long time in the tackle. Connell tried to crash through. Eventually left to Edwards. Now Broderick once more. After Maxfield advanced the ball about 10 metres. Broderick out wide. Daffy, can he control it? Back to goal. He's about 65 metres out now. Still Daffy, well played. Kicks from 60. Not much carry on that one. Bickley and Rogers missed it. Tregenza to Connell. Up from the back pocket. He pulls it back. Good vision. Awkward bounce. Good backing up by Maynard in the grasp. This is Smart. Missed the ball. Still it goes. Well played. Kept it in front. Worked off it nicely by Prescott. Down goes Deer. Over the shoulders as the umpire. Those down fans don't like it.
He goes on with the job. And a fine mark in front to Gale. It's on left half forward. Been an excellent start by the Tigers. In towards full forward again, and despite the attention of McCartney, a good strong mark by Justin Charles. He's already kicked one.
Yes, this is one of the Crows' problems, of course, although the kick was excellent. The 2 tools, Charles and Gale, will cause lots of trouble in the air tonight. Even though it's a bit slippery, I'm sure they'll get their hands on lots of balls.
Kicking from 40. Almost directly in front. They've got 5 straight on the board. And he's kicked 1 so far. Now they've got 6 straight. And he's got 2.
Yes, this is a blistering start. This reminds me of a game early in the year when Richmond played North Melbourne and they kicked 9 goals in the first quarter with some sensational lightning play. Once again, that terrific kick. I mean, he just worked beautifully. A bit different that one. He could get his body in front. And the former baseballer, now it was ex-foot Bulldog, kicks his 2nd goal.
Great start by Richmond then. 36-9. Pittman at the 2nd attempt. Liptak to Hart out of the middle. Down towards half forward. Almost to McLeod in front. Now a high tackle and a free kick is going Richmond's way to be taken by Kellaway. No doubting that. Prescott comes away from half-back. Kicks it out wide. Richmond lead in all directions to the ball. Awkward bounce though. Set it up for Liptak to Bickley to Smart. Smart comes down towards half-forward. Visca. Strong hands that one. Visca starting on the forward line. That's unusual. Goes back to Pittman from right on the 50. He's normally a good kick, and that's a beauty. the middle.
Margin back to 21 points with just over 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Can the Crows continue on the comeback trail? It's pushed wide. Tregenza starts the charge towards the footy. It's going to be close to the boundary line. Who'll keep it in? Kellaway gets a touch. And then with Prescott and Tregenza, over it goes.
He's a much maligned player, Simon Tregenza, but he's had a very good season.
Young Tigers looking on. Their chance will come a little bit later on. Liptak caught, and well caught too. Wonderful tackle from Matthew Knights.
Wasn't that an intelligent tap out too? It was just terrific.
So Knights goes towards Gale. With him is Smart. Daffy goes to ground. He was left, said the umpire. Free kicks have certainly gone the way of Richmond so far, 8-1. In towards full forward, and just drifting across is the young man from Mill in Jason McCartney.
He's deep in his own defensive area. There's the mark again. His Hart runs it away. He's gone a long way too as he comes up towards centre half back. The kick not particularly good. It bounces towards the middle. Knights, great evasion, aided by a great Shepherd. Kicks down towards the pocket. Up in front was Gale. Campbell throws it on the boot. Oh, it bounced into the post.
Where's the weave of Matthew Knights through the traffic then? It's just excellent awareness, and Wayne Campbell unlucky not to get his second.
Marvellous Shepherd too by Kellaway to release him. Now Bickley, some indecision. There's Pittman up ahead. Bickley put some distance on this kick. Great mark. Gale, about 75 metres out from goal. Told to play on. They are red hot on that this season. Maxfield has it. He's about 60 metres from goal. Maxfield barking the instructions. Goes long. Working his way in front. Charles off hands. Rashudo. Now he's got some problems. Having gone to the ground, that wasn't the thing to do. Charles slides in and a whistle. Rashudo probably... It's easy from here, of course. Needed to stay on his feet and get the ball towards the boundary line. So bounce in the pocket. McCartney. Broderick can't keep it in. So boundary throw in, just over 5 minutes till quarter time. And Richmond, as they've done several times this season, opening quick. Their best first term, 56 points against North Melbourne. It was back in round 4 at the MCG under Lights. McCartney thread the hand pass nicely. It came across to Rashudo. Well done. Awkward one on the wing for Knights. Worries Liptak out of it. Kellaway on the burst. Another Tiger free. They're approaching double figures.
Too high. So he's got it almost down to left half forward. Under 5 minutes remaining. Connell in front of the pack. His hand pass goes astray, and it could be costly because Rogers takes it and he bends it back in towards goal, and he's kicked a sensational goal. What a kick from Matthew Rogers.
Well, once again, I thought that he might have just chipped it in short, but if you watch that fierce contest there, that was really a contest indeed, to Broderick. And you just see the player short there. It's Maxfield, and he opts to kick on his left foot and just crosses on the line before McCartney can get a sniff of it. So Matthew Rogers has been instrumental in 2 goals. One he's kicked himself and one to Campbell.
6 individual players have kicked Richmond's goals as Campbell tries desperately to get it out of the centre. He did eventually get boot the ball. Rashudo shrugs a tackle. There's a bit going on behind play. We'll keep an eye on it as the Crows have a chance through Jarman to go forward. He's 60 metres out. He needs support and he gets it from Rashudo wide. Marginally closer to goal.
Well, Sandy, you don't have to be Einstein to work out the message out to Wayne Campbell. I mean, not the night to have a fight if you're the Brownlow favourite.
Rashudo has kicked 21-25 for the season. Distance will certainly test him, but if he gets onto a football, he can kick it. And they need one. Well, he tried desperately to get onto it. lunging is Bullis, and he takes a timely mark in defence. As Dennis said, one of a number of South Australians now in the black and gold. He played with Woodville West Torrens. Smart couldn't take it. Broderick again. The boy from Camperdown heads towards centre wing. And a little bit of space, but only for a moment, because Benny Gale is taken over, but he loses it. And the free kick goes to Rodney Maynard, and the ironical cheers go up from the Adelaide Crows fans.
Maynard down towards half forward, tape in front. Showed the judgment, dropped the mark. Prescott, tackled by Smart, jarred loose. Edwards heads goalward from 35. Wayward kick. Misses to the right-hand side. So at one end, the Tigers kicking so accurately. At the other, the Crows squandering their chances. And they're down now, as you can see, by a big margin. 29 points, 2-3-7-2. Actually, the scoreboard had that wrong. Our scoreboard, that was a Crow behind. Two, 4-7-1. We check it. And that's what we've got now. Kellaway awaiting the kick in. Turner has got his warning. Now Kellaway has a scratch in effect, so the team doctor is out with him. He's making some running repairs, and we're waiting for Narendra to take up his position on the ground. So Kellaway shouldn't be long gone. And now Crow is coming off. I think for the same reason, is it? Nigel Smart. Yeah. Narendra's out there. Smart's off. Pittman comes on. Time is standing still here at Football Park. Now Turner set to go. Almost. Pittman not in position as yet. He's being a little ornery. He's heading across towards the outer side. In this situation, the set play for the kick-in, who knows where the player coming onto the ground is expected to stand. Very much his own choice. Bullis, good grab. 7-1-2-4. That's our scoreline as Bullis boots it out wide. Well-weighted kick to Knights. Drifting in behind the congestion to Rogers. Rogers hand passes out in front. Not good policy. This is Edwards, who a moment ago was shooting at goal. Deep in his own defensive area. Maxfield taking no prisoners. Still he goes, Maxfield, to Rogers. The impossible angle. Back goes Gale. Had it fisted away. Good defence by Maynard. Well played, Gale. There's plenty of Tigers there. McDermott gets there, though, in the nick of time, or more correctly, his left boot did. Daffy, a bit lucky. Jarman missed him. Meantime, Jamison forces around the outer side. Bowers slides in, tackled by Tregenza. Whoa, and Jarman arrives. The cavalry got there. And some friendly fire, I think, got Tregenza. That's a pretty tough call. He may have praised a Tiger. He certainly got Simon Tregenza. As Richmond side go forward.
Jars was anything but impressed. Broderick again. Gee, tries to socket that one off the ground. Bickley's got it at half-back. That dearly love a goal or two before a quarter time. They've managed just 2 for the term, while Richmond have kicked 7. There's Bond and McLeod in the thick of things. Jarman there also. Robran does the separating. The referee is Robran. It's the Tigers by 27 points with just over a minute remaining. Matthew Norton bounces it down once more. Campbell around his body. From half back he goes over centre wing. It bounces up towards right half forward. Beautiful hand pass towards Naish. They can set something up here. Rogers again has started in promising fashion. An attempted soccer off the ground goes straight into the man. But it's Broderick again. They call him Wombat at Punt Road, and he's missed. He's missed.
Well, he set it up with a hand pass initially. They bungled it, so he came again.
He's had 13 positions in this quarter.
That's like babysitting the ball, isn't it, in the first quarter? It's okay, I'll look after it.
7-2 plays 2-4.
Jamison, short to the pocket. McCartney. Clock inside the last minute of this opening term. And Richmond have been most impressive. McCartney drives it around. Smart comes back onto the ground. Pittman is out there. Robran, was he pushed in the back? It's going to be a Crow free as Bickley wants to go. So the crowd happy with the free, but when they realise Bickley was headed around the outer side, they won't be so happy, and they're not. But Pittman's got it. Kicked a very good goal earlier. So we're down to 32 seconds remaining in this term. 7-2 plays 2-4. Rashudo off his step. Probing kick down towards half-forward tape. Good mark and well played by Bullis. Used his body at ground level by a little space for the flyer. Tape towards the middle. In fact, there's Bullis. So it must have been Gale on the outer side. Tricked by the knee bandage. Ball Bullis. Unglamorous but very effective. Turner pushing up the ground. Making Modra work. There's the siren. Quarter time at Football Park and a great start by Richmond. No doubt sensing a danger game right here. And they've done well by themselves getting those early goals. That man's got 2 of them, Justin Charles. But the star certainly, Paul Broderick, 13 possessions, telling. 8 kicks and 5 hand passes. As Robert Shaw comes down onto the ground. A win tonight will equal his best season in AFL coaching. He had 10 wins in a 20-game season with Fitzroy back in '93. But the honours certainly with this team. Not this one, but the Tigers. Quarter time, Richmond 7-2. The Crows are 2-4.
Everyone's talking about the finals, but few have the insight of Malcolm Blight and Mike Sheehan. Listen in on Monday night on Talking Footy.
It's quarter time on a cool night here in South Australia, but we've seen some hot football from Richmond. They are 7-2 of 44, but their only multiple scorer is Justin Charles. He has 2. Adelaide only has 2. They are 2-4-16, and their boundary rider Neil Kerley has watched it all from the sidelines. Have the Tigers impressed you, Curls?
Oh, very much so, Sandy. They're a very, very quick side, and they play such fantastic team footy. Robert Shaw is asking his players to man up a lot quicker when the Richmond boys have possession. Also break quicker and deliver the ball better to their forwards. But Richmond playing super footy. They really do play as a team. That's the most impressive thing about them.
Thank you, Curls. Neil Kerley, our boundary rider, as we get set now for the second quarter. The margin is 28 points. Not a lot, but Pittman and co have the job ahead of them. If this side is going to get back and give their fans something to think about over the long break. 16 plays 44. Here we go. Deere and Pittman. Here goes Rashudo. This is what they want. Now where's Modra? Flat on his back. And Turner is first to recover. They push it towards the line, courtesy of Duncan Kellaway. And it goes over. A throw in the Crows' left forward pocket. First couple this quarter. They're right back in the thick of things. Here's their chance. Robran towards Wiedemann. Fell. Another bounce. Bond picks himself up. Mark Visca also. Liptak does the scouting. Some holding on there. It'll be a Richmond free kick. Didn't have the football. Broderick wants to go. He had a sensational first quarter. Did Broderick. 8 and 5, but it's got to come back to Bond. He goes towards Gale. Smart is the spoiler. Maxfield up high towards the boundary line, and Bow sees it over.
Sandy, perfect piece of play then. Gale sitting underneath. There were 3 Richmond players just on the run, beautifully positioned. One inside, one outside, and one coming from the front. Just really has got that set up working well.
Pittman taken out of it by Deere. A little too high, said the umpire. So the Crow big man again charges towards Modra. Didn't get a sniff in the first quarter. He's got the chance though to kick his 36th goal for the season. 35-27 he had coming into this game. He's going to be kicking from 43 metres, 45-degree angle, and they'll erupt if he can kick this one. Bang, into the woodwork. Not a bad try from there.
Tense times at Football Park. 7-2, 2-5. Turner once more. Made his debut under Kevin Bartlett back in 91. Goes straight up the middle. Rogers. Squares the ball. Kellaway pushing up from halfback. Quick thinking. Knights on the outer side wing. Finding space. Rogers again. Hasn't got it. No free kick. Doesn't matter. Knights towards left half forward. McCartney reaches over the top of Charles to knock it forward. Missed by Smart. Good commitment from Charles, and again he was on the ground but he fought back strongly and the ball goes across the line. Good pressure. Colourful customer. Boundary throw in about 60 metres from the Tigers' attacking goal. They've dominated this game so far. Gale hooks it down with the run of it. Rashudo, strong tackle, got him down too high. Broderick with the right arm just sliding over the shoulder. But gee, it was forceful.
It's a good battle that. Rashudo's actually playing. They're playing on each other, so getting a lot of kicks, both of them.
Rashudo close to the boundary line, pitched just inside and bounced across. Rodney Maynard, who started the game, now on the bench. There's still so much footy left in this round, of course. Big one at the SCG. The West Coast Eagles needing to win tomorrow. And Richmond looking to push up to third. Strong tackle again, got Rashudo down. Well played by Prescott. Campbell heads for the boundary line. It goes across. Boundary throw.
Kicked the opening goal of the night, Wayne Campbell. Bullis wins it. Rashudo tries to do the bullocking work. Knights and Broderick have been busy. Campbell again. A hurried kick. It's okay because sliding into it is Chris Naish. Down towards full forward. Belted clear again. The pressure's on the defence. Bickley leads the way, and through a succession of hand passes, it finishes with McDermott. Back again to Bickley, who's followed it down. Now the Crows have a chance to go to the lead on right half forward. He started on the bench. Goes over the top to Liptak. He's 75 from home. He wants Modra. Over the top of him he goes. Jarman's in the pocket with Kellaway. McLeod off the ground. Into the post. Well, we saw him produce a miracle goal against Hawthorn at that end of the ground. He almost did it again.
Yeah, his first game. Yes, it just had the wrong bias on it. But good build-up then by Adelaide. They tried to share the footy around a bit and play a bit more teamwork, and just caught Richmond napping for a while.
2-6, plays 7-2. Turner again. The Crows looking to force their way back into this game. Bullis making it tough though with a fine mark there.
Yes, a meaningful approach. Came strongly at that one. Always going to be his. He kicks it wide. Ill-directed. McDermott. So the Crows will come back. 16 minutes till half-time. They're down by 26 points. It's been a fine servant of the club. Uses the ball well. Liptak. Low down. Just forward of the wing. Crows needing the next goal. You sense Richmond playing with a lot of confidence. Bullis again timed his run to perfection. Almost the mark over the top. Jamison on the forward line. Gave it to Jarman. Hoists it very high. Modra up in front. Fisted away by Turner. To good effect too. Dia to Bauer, who can go for a run now. Bauer through the middle. McLeod was closing. He looked to mean hombre. You saw him in the background. Down towards the 50. Charles knocks it towards the boundary line. Across it goes. And will be thrown in. So a quick transference of play. And that's a hallmark of Richmond. They're very direct. And a characteristic too of John Northey's coaching. Game number 232 for him tonight. Charles feeds the hand pass back. Campbell, his 8th possession, a slick one. Naish went down against the flow. Smart, well played. Releases Tregenza, boots it towards the middle. Coming storming up his press, got full chest to Tregenza, left it behind. Jurica's hand pass was quick. Taken by Knights. Nicely done. Rogers kicks it out wide, rather untidy. Maxfield gathers though, about 75 metres out. Centering kick. Good talking. Jamison called his teammate out.
He's at halfback. The Crows grimly defending. 18 plays 44. Tregenza gets it away to Cobb. Poor kick. It's going to come back to Gale. He's 65 metres out.
I think he was called for shepherding off the ball then, Sandy.
Going short and effective. Steaming out comes Justin Charles, who kicked 2 goals in the first quarter.
Yes, that's good skills, isn't it, Brendon Gale? Quite experienced now. Charles making the opportunity lead, and McCartney being caught behind. As I mentioned earlier, perhaps Robert Shaw might have to think about McCartney going forward. He did that move last week and it worked very well.
Charles from just inside 40, firing for his third, and this could hurt the Adelaide Crows. And it will.
So the story of the game so far, one side taking their chances, the other side not. And the margin is 32 points. Loose ball down towards the half-forward line for the Crows. Poked forward there by Jarman. And again, this time by McLeod. He tracks it inside the 50. He's got runners alongside. One of whom is Jarman. 15 metres out, gets the goal. That's better. Looks like Uncle Sam wants you.
Andrew McLeod was very special then. I thought he really doesn't run hard when he goes after the football. It would have been great if he could have kept his poise, but he knew exactly where his help was, and that came in the place of Andrew Jarman. Jarman talking to him there, still talking. You can see the voice going. Wiedemann talking. You can see the voice out in the ground. Great lesson for all the youngsters.
So will that fire up the Crows? Deer wins it from the middle. Who can take it out? Jarman was over the top. Rashudo, Tregenza, they're away again, only as far as Kellaway. And somehow he gets it to Broderick. Well played. Broderick spirals it to half forward. McCartney couldn't take it on the half volley, but he did well to recover. The Crows have lifted. Rashudo takes it away towards McDermott, and he steadies them through the centre. Poor kick, however. Disappointment for him. He wanted Tregenza and found Kellaway, who's got Broderick. And some space on the outer side. Rogers. A chance to roam. Down towards Charles again. Got a hand to it but couldn't take it. Edwards towards the boundary line. And a free kick for holding on is going to go to Tyson Edwards against Chris Naish. Tucked in the back pocket. He finds Rashudo. Stays on the outer side of the ground. Goes up towards centre wing and Jason McCartney. And he comes to Connell, running through the middle. He's had a sensational year for the Crows. Oh, Modra dropped it. Through Jarman. But Jarman goes again.
So just off the ball, that move has been made by Robert Shaw. And Robran's gone back onto Charles, and a couple of weeks ago that I'd mentioned about moving the way, but he wasn't getting the foot in. I think that's fair enough too. And now McCartney gone up forward.
McDaffie off the ground. This is Liptak, so a win there for Chris McDermott. Meantime, kicked into the back of a teammate Wiedemann by Liptak. Held to Liptak and a bounce. So Daffy, the leading goal scorer this season for the Tigers, with 40, including 6 against North Melbourne back in round 4. He was a man who got them away to that great start. He's off the ground. McDermott in the twilight, still capable of closing a man down. Here's Rashudo from the 50. Offline or behind. (3-7, 8-2) on this glorious night here at Football Park in Adelaide.
Rashudo's had 12 possessions as well, Dennis, and Broderick now 15, and they are actually playing on each other. But with these set plays, as we see Scotty Turner get it away, is that you're not always on your man in that situation.
Bauer, hurriedly, Tate has to wait, knocked it away from Tregenza, across the line, out of bounds.
Always a coaching dilemma, I felt, that with those set plays, you actually took some of your run-wins off another player and really gave them a bit of free space occasionally.
Bullis worked hard, but it went straight to Rashudo towards McLeod. Tries to get it away. Ran into Tate. Brown under pressure. That went out on the full. Ricocheting from Matthew Knights. Modra in the pocket.
He's quick, isn't he?
Plays on. And Liptak directly in front.
just wonder what happened with Modra, don't you, halfway through the year? Or that middle patch of the year then, when he was really running hard then, and he's very difficult to pick up. Wouldn't say Turner's the slowest bloke playing full back.
Liptak for his 100th career goal. And he's got it.
So they get it back to 19 points now, Adelaide. Dia has to wait. Went nowhere. Hart on his knees, gets to his feet, scrambles it forward. Well done by Brown at close quarters. Liptak again. 7 goals on the season. Magnificent mark. Modra wheeling it in with the right hand. Fingertip control.
I can't believe that. I was looking at the left. The whole crowd went up in the air. It was just exciting as we watched. This is his pace again. I mean, that's a fantastic stretch. And the whole crowd almost rose as one.
Well, there's speculation he won't be here next season. He's got this one only about 25 metres out. Slight angle. Going at his first of the night. Straight through.
So the Crows starting to get some 50-50 balls out of the centre. And with Modra very much instrumental in the last 2 goals. You watch this, Hart does well. Look at that for aggression. Terrific stuff. And all of a sudden the ball starts running. Someone puts their body over the line. And the freaks skills of Modra.
The margin was 28 points at quarter time. It's now 13 and it's down towards Jarman again. He lets them ride all over him and then gets it out, but it's Knights who comes away and steadies the Tiger ship. Down towards left half forward towards Chris Naish. He's had an excellent year. Hasn't missed a game either. Off to Rogers towards the 50. Back again with a fist. Caught was Connell, but caught high. He finds Rashudo at half back. Call to play on. He was away. Mark Rashudo goes in towards the middle. Well, the Tigers have got the numbers, and Bickley has given away a free kick. And I want to be careful here, particularly Richmond players, because they're in the finals.
Yes, you'd say his head jolted back then, and I think he's coming off with the blood roll. He's just clipped him. It looked more like an open hand to you rather than it's pretty hard to see.
Difficult to tell from that particular angle. I think what upset Bond, he came in and wanted to remonstrate with Jarman. I think it's because of what happened after this.
Yes, that's a nasty one indeed.
So Daffy is back out on the ground. Campbell takes the free kick. Richmond go to half forward. Held up again by Jason McCartney. Jamison. Short to Brown. Oh, tight ran into a brick wall again in the form of Bickley. They're fired up now, the Crows. Brown's down.
Yes, you'll see Brown actually gets virtually sandwiched here as Bickley comes in. He's the player behind and cops it in the head from behind. One of those unfortunate accidents.
So Bullis takes the free kick. In towards half forward. Robran defends to McDermott. McDermott goes back towards the centre. And Wiedemann has a free kick just on the defensive side of the middle.
Getting a little lawless at Football Park. Here's Connell to Brown. He seems to be okay. Gets another fitness test. That time from Prescott inside the 50. They want Jarman's scalp. It's already been done though. He's got it 20 metres out. He rubbers it through. It's behind. Just the wrong side of the post.
Yes, I keep harping on this. I'd rather guys kick up, and I think you get more purchase on the ball when you kick up.
Turner kicks up. In the meantime, it's a free kick up the ground. It's going Richmond's way. Paul Bullis has it. Is being held. Tregenza, in any case, spotted the danger, gets across, wins the ball, gets by Bauer. He's about 80 metres from home. McCartney, off his step, goes very high. That's a terrible effort. Did not look. Two Richmond players back. Bond comes away, member's side with a kick, and it's a beauty. Centimetre perfect there for Rogers, who made hard work of it. Just forward of half back. Kicks it very high. Gale couldn't get to the contest. It bounces across the boundary line as we go down to Neil Kill.
Yeah, report on both those players. Kellaway with blood nose, as we all know, slightly groggy, should be okay. And Brown, fine, he'll come back when he's ready.
On centre wing. From the throw-in. Broderick loses it. Campbell just chips one over the shoulder. Down towards right half forward. Clever little tap towards Miranda. But it's McDermott who sees it over the line.
Matthew Rogers is an interesting player to me. I'm trying to work out if he's left foot or a right footer. I thought he was always a right foot, yet he's done a lot of kicking on his left foot, and that one was on his right foot. So quite ambidextrous, as they say, Dennis.
Very good, Mel.
Broderick goes in towards the pocket, and the mark is taken by Jurica. Well, Richmond kicked the first goal of the quarter, but that was their only score. Their margin at the moment is 12 points. Stephen Jurica will be hoping to make that 18. Playing in just his 12th game. Starts at left and it's going to stay there. Just makes it from behind.
I'd just like to talk about the guy that taught Stewie Lowe all this kicking style everyone's following and putting marks on the ground. My word, it gets very staccato, doesn't it? A bit of flow through the kicking, I think, does better. But anyhow, that's my opinion.
Curators hate it.
Adam Slater has come on for
hates it.
Jurica. And big night for young Adam Slater from East Burwood in only his third game.
Hang on, there's three umpires playing whistles here at the same time. This is one of the great decisions of all time.
In triplicate.
It's absolutely three of them going all together.
Maybe they agree.
Oh, you get three different boos here.
From 55, Knights in towards full forward and a big pack of players. And the young man who's just come onto the ground. Adam Slater.
Yes, he is a big fella, isn't he? Robran goes early and he really does take it out of his hands. Robran has a piece of it. The fella's just too big. Really, in the letter of the law, was really play on.
25 metres out, and the black and gold go up for a goal to Richmond.
There's the time remaining, 5.5 minutes till half-time, and the margin now is 19 points. 9-3, 5-8. So the Crows, in effect, have had one more scoring opportunity. Broderick. It's going to be a free kick, not to Broderick, but to his teammate, Miranda. Alongside the centre circle, goes for distance. High kick. Charles forced to spoil and has been penalised. Up front posse initially. Jamison worked in front and got the reward. Goes out wide. Wiedemann leapt early. Daffy knocked it away. There's a Prescott from behind. Prescott, Rogers knocks it goalward. Naish socketed about 5 metres. This is Charles, goes back to Rogers, right on the 50. Swings it deep to the pocket. Edwards knocks it down. And a free kick is going his way. Held by the arm. In fact, it's going back to Connell. These umpires getting very much involved off the ball at the present time. Don't know what happened to Connell. As he hugs the boundary with the kick. Knights was up in front. Liptak, nicely done in a tight situation. Bullis played the percentages, closed his opportunity down there as he tried to go by him along the boundary and knocked it across as Maynard waits to come back on. Tigers by 19 points. Approaching half-time at Football Park. Deer goes up, hooks it down. McDermott had it, then lost it. Broderick, brilliantly done. Rogers, hard against the line, inside the 50. Fisted away down there by Smart, roving the pack, Tregenza. He kicks it high towards the wing. Wiedemann slides in.
Almost down to the middle. I'd love another one here as Hart looks down towards half forward. He's called to play on, but instead just chips away towards Connell. He has more space and more time to Modra. Kicked his only goal for the game earlier this quarter.
It's a pretty good kick by Connell then. Sometimes I've just doubted his kicking, but had a flat spat for the third. And looking down here, Maynard comes off as McCartney comes on. Other way around, I should say.
Modra for his second. He's given away a couple. Kicks from 49 metres. It's a high drop punt. It's going to be touch and go. He's got it.
Would have taken a good stretch to touch that on reflection as Deer knocks it down. Broderick advanced it about 10 metres. Maxfield slapped it only as far as Tregenza. He boots it back towards his half-forward line. McLeod appeared to be held. In close attendance is Bond, and eventually the free kick will go to McLeod. The crowd finds some voice approaching half-time. Just 13 points in it. Here's Bickley, probing kick inside the 50. Modra up one hand. Knights, Miranda, boots it high. Maxfield in best position, couldn't hang on. Now an opportunity for Bond. He lost it. Maynard gets it away to McLeod. 55 metres out. Interesting kick. Missed by Liptak. Knights dives on top of it. That's still a live ball. Daffy got it away somehow. This is Bond from half back. Boots it towards the wing. It skids precariously close to the line. Across it goes. In fact, may have come from Smart's boot. Nothing doing. Boundary throw in. So the Crows won't go away. Not a lot to play for, just personal pride, but they're sticking at it. Pittman won it down. Broderick, who's been terrific, tackle. Bauer going nowhere. It comes back to the man on the ground, Rashuda. Bickley crashes in. Campbell is there as well. And eventually the umpire calls for it. And the umpires in this term have been busy.
Tigers by 13 points. Deer to Campbell. Runs into trouble, but he swats it beautifully to the running Maxfield, who should goal from 48 metres, and he does. Sensational play by Campbell.
Terrific.
Yes, normally you don't get away with that, with jumping in the air like that. The guys can get you over the ball. As we look, you'll see Campbell. There he goes. He's on the move. Good ruck rovers are always on the move. And then somehow or other, Tregenza holds him up in the tackle rather than making him drop. And just that great presence to give it off to Maxfield.
Stewie Maxfield gets his second. He booted one in the first term. Put that one down to Wayne Campbell. Dynamic play. As we go back in the middle once again. Pittman. Rashuda tries to charge towards half forward. And they get it back to 13 points before half-time, maybe even less. Wiedemann hopes so as he gives it to Liptak, who sneaks away from Prescott. Modra's his man. 1, 2, 3. Not paid. Play on. So Broderick does. His hand pass drops on the defensive 50. They pounce upon it. Look at that. And Broderick sneaks away with it again. Only to see Wiedemann ricochet clear towards McLeod. He's inside 50. Can he produce some magic? A little too far for Wayne Campbell, but he's got backup support in the form of Jamie Tate. Only as far as Connell, who's just forward of the middle. In towards half forward again. Modra's in the pack. Jarman's at the back. Tate waits down. Oh, straight to Rashuda. Over the top to Jarman. That's the goal they wanted.
Well, this Crow side is they've really hit back hard in looking shell-shocked at quarter time when the scores were 7-2, and now it's 7-10. nearly a mark. Tate just pulled off the football, and Rashudo himself, who's been a good player. Guys on's played very well as well, and Andrew Jarman, goal kicker, right in the middle, terrific season.
Cool customer. Matthew Connell's having a good half too, 15 possessions now. Interesting stat on Connell. He's taken over 100 marks this season. Clearly leads the Crows in that stat. Dragged off it there was Pittman. Prescott boots it down towards half forward. Naish is in front. Edwards in close attendance. 30 seconds remaining in the half. Can the Tigers grab a late goal? Gutsy. McDermott went back, took the mark. Neither are players bearing down. This is Jamison. He'll give it away. Tate, well judged, alongside the centre circle, aided by an errant kick. He swings it out wide towards half forward now. How will it set for Daffy? Pretty well. Full-chested Daffy. We're down to 9 seconds though. They need to mark the Tigers. Not there. Robran to Jarman. Another possession for him, and he, like Connell, has been very busy. 13 possessions as he uses the ball to Hart. So an interesting first half here at Football Park. Richmond blitzing early to lead by 28 points at quarter time. Adelaide have come back strongly, and at the major break they're down by just 13. Richmond at 10-3, and Adelaide is 7-8.
The Sydney Cricket Ground is the site for the Swans' encounter with Collingwood. See it here on AFL Sunday.
And we certainly hope you're enjoying Saturday night football coming your way live on 7 Sport. The margin here at Football Park is 13 points with Adelaide Crows hitting back hard in the second quarter. Stay with us to see if they can keep it going. But for now, let's check out our Saturday wrap. It's round 22 with Craig Willis.
It was standing room only at the MCG for the 200th meeting between Carlton and Essendon. Hurd put the Bombers in front early. The Blues came back and led by 19 points midway through the first quarter. However, Essendon managed to close the gap to just 5 points at quarter time. In the second quarter, Kransberg had Essendon back in the lead, but then a goal blitz by Carlton. They kicked 5 goals in 10 minutes. But at half-time, it was the Blues by 21 points. Carlton went even further ahead in the third term, kicking 3 more goals to Essendon's 1. And at three-quarter time, they led by 34 points. In the final term, the Blues were dominant. They finished the match 41 points in front, completing the best performance by a team in the competition. 20 wins for the season, their 13th in a row. The final scoreline, Carlton 16-12, 108, Essendon 9-13, 67. At Waverley, Paul Couch was in charge of Geelong as they did battle with Hawthorn. The Cats were away early with 2 quick goals. Platten was doing his best, but without Ablett and Brownless, it was up to Mansfield and Mensch to coordinate the Geelong attack. Geelong were leading by 5 goals, and Dunstall was doing his bit when he was able to get the ball. The Cats came back with 3 goals, Lord and Riccardi combining well. And when Mensch kicked his 4th, the Cats were 44 points in front. In the third term, the Cats kicked 6 goals, Hawthorn managed 3, and the final quarter saw Geelong go even further ahead. The Cats have the double chance. The scoreline, Geelong 23-10, 148 to Hawthorn 15-12, 102. At the Western Oval, Footscray clashed with St Kilda. Footscray are in the finals, but they couldn't manage a goal in the opening term. St Kilda booted 7-2. By half-time, the Bulldogs were in big trouble. The Saints by a massive 64 points. And Footscray were doing it tough. At three-quarter time, the Saints were well in command by 66 points and were never going to look back. And there were emotional scenes for St Kilda stalwart Danny Frawley, chaired off the ground at his last appearance. At the end of proceedings, St Kilda 20-12, 132 to Footscray 11-12, 78. At Optus Oval, North Melbourne took on Fitzroy. For the Lions, the game was a matter of pride. But North were far too strong, though in the first quarter, the Roys held their own. At half-time, North in front by 59 points. In the third term, it just belonged to the Kangaroos. Another 9-goal haul, and the Lions were buried. In the last quarter, North went on their merry way to kick the highest score of the season. At the siren, North Melbourne 30-24, 204, Fitzroy 15-11, 101.
Round 22 continues. Greg Williams, the only player so far on report. Let's now go to the office of the Sunday Herald Sun and Scott Palmer. An emotional day for St Kilda and Danny Frawley, and Stan Owls prepared to do plenty to keep Stewie low.
Yes, a very generous man, Stan Owls. He said he was willing to renegotiate his last year of his contract if the St Kilda side can keep Stewie low. He's a desperate man. We need him badly, said Stan, and he wants to renegotiate his own contract.
Well, as we saw in those highlights, Scotty, it was an emotional day for Danny Frawley. But what about Footscray? Is it just one of those days?
One of those days, he said, but we've done well to be there, Alan Joyce. And of course, he's got Danny Southern now injured, but he's hoping to get back Mark Hunter for the final next week. But it was a very terrific day out there at Footscray when they named the E.J. Whitten Oval, Sandy.
Yes, and Scotty, I believe you've got the scoop again. You've done it, haven't you?
I have, yes.
Ablett played for Geelong today.
Yes, Nathan Ablett, the son of Gary. He played in the Little League for the Cats today, and in fact, Gary went in after the match and addressed the Cats Little League, and he told them about the evils of football, Sandy. The drinking and all that gambling and what goes on.
Those trips at the end of the year, it's terrible, isn't it?
But Geelong will have a talk with their legal advisors at 10 o'clock tomorrow to see if they go ahead with that civil action. Let's hope they can work it all out. Ablett was in the super box for a while today and was in the injury list, but it looks like he's going to miss the final first match anyway.
Scotty, a very disappointing end of the season as far as Hawthorn is concerned. Is Peter Knights feeling the heat?
Yeah, second on the ladder, second on the bottom now, and Peter Knights is under a bit of pressure. He said, I can't control what I can't control, but the Hawthorn board will meet on Monday and the match committee on Tuesday, Sandy. Chris Langford's only 50-50 chance of playing next year, and Darren Jarman told us after the day's game that the future will be a tough decision for him and money will not come into it.
Yes, they're talking about him over here, I can tell you that. Just in closing, Scotty, Carlton, what a sensational performance to finish with 20 wins in the home and away.
David Parkin said an excellent preparation. They're now beaten the West Coast Eagles, Essendon and North Melbourne in the last few weeks. He said that 4 of his boys had flu today, and really they've done everything possible. You know, 20 wins out of 22. Kevin Sheedy said it was a fantastic achievement in this day and age, and the way football is going, it's going to be hard to beat, Sandy.
Scotland, keep on punching, and we'll talk to you, of course, during the finals. In the meantime, we'll take a break here from Football Park. It is the Tigers by 13 points.
They're tuning up the engines and ready to climb the mountain. Bathurst, coming soon on 7.
And if you may have just joined us here at Football Park, a cool night. Richmond leading the way at the moment, but Adelaide hitting back well in the second quarter. It's half time. The Tigers are 10-3, 63. Adelaide are 7-8, 50, a margin of just 13 points. Time now for a brief gargle, because it's time once again for Plays of the Month.
Move aside, bugle boy from row 33. Come along, Mad Hatters, go and make us some tea. But don't adjust your set. You know she's really a he, and if you think I jest, watch this footy fest where you see the best. Stand by for the plays of July and August.
Yes, Boogie Woogie is back, and after a 2-month layoff, plays are back, bigger and better than ever before, and with a decidedly 40s feel about them. And while we're in the mood, so too was Coach David Parkin, albeit a blue mood. Or perhaps he was just practising for a jitterbug competition. But there were no bugs on this little leaguer. He just simply had a case of ants in his pants. And as for pants, well, the North mascot just had no interest in keeping his up. On you, Brad.
Pardon me, boys. Is that the cat that kicked the big ton? This goalie's having fun.
He's on television. Yes. He's on television, this bloke.
Have a look at this. The confrontation of the year between the goal umpire and the field umpire, and it's been what an anti-climax. That has got to be the most ridiculous situation I've seen this year.
Well, sorry to disagree with you, Robbo, but I think that bogging a cannon at the MCG may just top that. While over at Subi, Scotty Wine was under more pressure than usual.
This will have to go down as one of the best wins I think the club's had in many a year.
He's getting the herring down here, boys.
And tell me, just who would want to be a league coach?
Rich, look at Barbie. Oh, Jared, what have you got to look forward to?
That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, I reckon.
you wave me goodbye. Cheerio, here I go on my way. Wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. Not a tear, but a cheer, make it gay.
Well, Gracie, goodbye, good luck, and
Kiss me goodnight on my chin, dear, as we celebrate another Brisbane win.
Ah, the things we do for plays. It's all good fun. And as this special edition winds down, let me remind you that with Christmas just around the corner, don't forget the very best of plays, volumes 1 and 2, are available at all good video stores. Yes, a musical plays, and for that this month we say many thanks to Gary Adams for his help with that little production. And I think if you're ever contemplating being a coach, think for one moment of that shot of Neil Baum as we take a break.
The business end of the season is upon us, and 7 Sport will be at the bounce of every ball. Stay tuned for finals time.
Saturday night football coming away live on 7 Sport. It's the Tigers 10-3-63, Adelaide a 7-8-50. But Curls, after that second quarter, this game is up for grabs. Before we come to you, let's have a look at a couple of bone crunches in that second quarter. Jarman then coming in over the top. Bond remonstrating with Jarman. Kellaway down. And they've got to be careful because a melee is not too many more than that. A couple popping in and out, but it's all in the name of 4 premiership points. As I said, Curls, they're up for grabs.
They certainly are, Sandy. The reason the Crows got back into the game in that quarter, Robert Shaw asked for a much more aggressive approach at quarter time, stronger at the body, particularly in the packs, which the Crows players did surprise. And also I thought Hart was very good on Campbell. Rashudo came into the game and Modra was giving him a focal point up forward. So at this stage, it's anybody's game.
Yes, 2 goals to Modra in that second quarter. Pittman, he may be a key too as he starts them out of the centre. First goal important. Rashudo gives it away to Bickley off to Hart. Runs into Maxfield. And is Pete. Stewie Maxfield. Almost down to half forward. Couple of steps that he kicks long up to full forward. Racing through was Daffy initially, and Naish got the hand pass. The kick in towards full forward by Broderick is away to the right, 1 behind. 12 kicks, 8 hand passes to Paul Broderick. 10-4, plays 7-8. Pittman breaks, Jamison waits. A margin of 14 points, and then he lets one go straight down the middle. Pittman in front, couldn't take the mark. Tackling has been sensational by both sides. Tregenza goes off the ground, in towards the centre. It comes towards Nigel Smart. He gets caught, but he gets it off to Jarman. The Crows a chance to go forward here. Here is Tregenza, putting them inside 50. Down towards Modra. He kicked a couple in the second quarter. He gave away a couple. Brown's in the thick of things. McLeod also. Maynard gives the hand pass away. He gets a little ground. Tregenza has a look in towards goal. Liptak is there. Rogers belts it over and concedes a behind. And it's their first score for the second half. 10-4, plays 7-9.
Yes, that was a great build-up then with great handball from the Crows, and reminiscent, I guess, of Graham Corn's days. They did flip it around and find a player in the clear.
Obviously, Greg Dean knows the answer. Kicked wide of him, though. Going back, it's missed by Knights, but he was tackled without it. How about that? We'll take the free. Forward of half-back. Knights. Very high kick towards centre half forward. Gale outnumbered. Over the top, Jamison. Helped on its way by Smart. Roving the pack, though, Campbell. Feeds it wider. This is Bauer. Runs to the 50. Vacant goal square. Long kick. It's good. Great goal.
And I would have to say that's a copybook Richmond goal. Kicking to centre half forward. Direct from Knights. Contest at centre half forward. There it is. There's the Crummers. Campbell running, sets up Bauer, and Bauer, as he does occasionally from 50 metres, a beautiful kick on the run, hard to do, but cleared the goals, and a terrific start there by the Richmond side. In fact, you don't need a lot of possessions to play football that way if you can read the crumbs right.
Margin again out to 19 points. Mark Westgarth puts the ball down into play. It's won by Deer. And there he is again. Bauer on the outer side. Rashudo charging. Bauer keeps going. Then is forced to apply the tackle. The bounce on the right half forward flank for Richmond. Tigers looking for third spot. Campbell off the ground. Gets them almost down towards 50. Edwards is there defending to Tregenza. Tumbles it back towards the centre of the ground. Only as far as the 150 gamer who flicks it off quickly. Daffy's in with a chance inside 50 here. Look out! Nick Daffy rides one buck, rides two, flicks it round his body into full forward. No one able to take the mark. It drops clear to Bickley. He's got a bit of time. He steadies to Simon Tregenza, and Tregenza's away to Pittman on right half back.
Tregenza having a good night. Pittman, McDermott attacking up Football Park, and they pay the penalty. This is Tate on the burst back towards the 50. Chris Naish has got it. 1 goal tonight. He's been down on production recently. Broderick loose in the pocket. He's a left footer, so it will open up for him. He's looking though towards the middle. He started superbly tonight, Paul Broderick. 20 possessions already, coming up for his 21st, early in the 3rd term. Just going back to Chris Naish, involved in that build-up. Very gifted player. Goalless in their last 2 games prior to tonight. 3 goals in the last 5 games. He needs to get back on track. As Broderick spears at Goalwood. That's a very good effort. Wow.
Perfect start for Richmond in the second half with a couple of quick goals. Pittman and co out of the middle. He has another attempt, but he loses it. Rogers almost plucked it in, but instead it's taken away by McDermott. To half forward. Jarman from behind. Miranda there. Brown tries to force his way through. He almost gets there. It's flicked past Prescott. Bullis is there to lend a hand to Tate. Around Wiedemann, but only to Liptak. He tumbles it down towards Modra and Turner. The latter will get there first. May just concede a behind because Jarman's right on his hammer. Let's go down to the boundary line. What news do you have, Curls?
Yeah, bad news for Richmond supporters back in Melbourne. Kellaway badly broken nose. Only his mother would love him at this stage, and no further part in the game.
Well, that is bad luck for Duncan Kellaway. And man, he hasn't missed a game so far this season. Let's hope that he is going to be okay. Tregenza is under pressure. He finally gets clear to half forward. The Crows desperately need a goal here as Modra comes charging out. Still there, Tony Modra. Now leaves it for Maynard off to Wiedemann. Shrugs the tackle. Left foots it in towards the right forward pocket. And over the line for a throw-in.
So the Crows are spluttering up forward at the present time. Not as fluid, certainly when they move the ball into attack, as their opponents. Liptak knocking at Goalwood. Still he goes. McLeod feeds it wider. This is Hart. Doesn't kick too many goals. Modra, a metre out. Well, he had a decision to make, Tony Modra, running back with the ball. Decided to mark it, rightly so, and gets his 3rd. Adelaide's 8th.
Yeah, stayed over the ball beautifully. McLeod gave it off just with a sense of the presence, and Modra by himself in the goal square. There was pressure there for a while across that half-forward line, then in the pocket, and the Crows managed to manufacture a goal. It wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty, but it was certainly effective.
Tony Modra's got a great record against the Tigers. 31 goals in 5 games, including 5 in round 7. And he's reached double figures twice against the Tigers. Both times in 93. Off the ground, worked forward around the outer side by Bond. Coming up to mid at Maxfield. Slips the hand pass to Bauer, who played it very well up until then. Tregenza, Rashudo, Bauer again fighting on the ground. That's still Bauer. Gets to his feet if you don't mind. Kicks it down towards half forward. Gale tried to help the ball on its way. Edwards tries to crash his way through. Daffy's got it now. Gains about 10 metres. Robran goes in, collides with Broderick. It's going to be a free kick. I think against the trailing Tiger there for a push in the back. That'll be Jurica. Robran's got the free. Hard against the line. Goes for distance around the outer side. Conditions just perfect for football. Maybe a little dewy now as it's grabbed by Naish. Very high kick. Well played by Hart. Left some time and space for McDermott. This is Edwards. He's at left half back. Goes towards the wing. All Tigers, they queue up. And the man in front, Bond, takes the mark. Oh. Well, Turner's got the ball, so obviously Turner was paid the mark. Turner squares it towards the middle. Rogers. Gale now. Very high kick, touched off the boot. Prosciutto surrounded and somehow got away. Off his step, McDermott floats it back towards the centre circle. Great judgment by Turner and great concentration too. A couple of Crows bearing down on him. Judged it to a nicety.
Almost to the centre. Kicks towards right half forward. No mark taken. Bickley. Clay. McDermott. Almost fell over the football. They managed to get it out, but straight to Knights. Dodging and weaving. He wobbles it up towards the forward line. Edwards tries to soccer off the ground. Well done by Charles to get the hand pass away, but straight to Robran. Broderick applied the tackle. They're not out of it yet. Prosciutto's doing some bullocking work in there. Eventually the whistle sounds and a bounce to take place.
My word, it's very hard to get a kick out there at the moment. There's some great one-on-one stuff going on as we look back to Tony Modra.
Jamie Tape on him at the moment. Turner down the ground. Robran couldn't take it. Bickley hurriedly, but straight to Matty Knights, the 150 gamer from 50 metres. In he goes towards full forward. A little too far for Adam Slater, who kicked a goal in the second quarter. Nervous times here at Football Park. Can the Crows get up? Campbell plucks it out of the air. Has he done a Gary Ablett? It's very, very close, that kick from Wayne Campbell. And he's done it.
Well, the Crows fans can't find an umpire they like at the present time. Knights over the ball on his knees, tries to dig it out. And Richmond come forward again. Daffy, brilliantly done. The hand pass didn't have enough carry. Gale had to wait for it. Feeds it back to Daffy, 35 metres out. Snaps. Behind. He's getting plenty of help down there. That goal umpire. 13-5, 8-10. The defence needs a bit of help. A bit of time. Under a lot of pressure at the moment. Connell back to Jamison. Jamison runs up towards half-back, uses it well. Releases Robran around the outer side. This is Brown. A hard knock earlier. Liptak. Liptak down towards centre half forward. Miranda. Gutsy mark going back by the former West Perth player. He sends play back towards the wing. They've got a 2-on-1 situation here. Rogers judged it well. Rogers towards centre half forward. Charles opted out of the contest. Gale had it knocked away by Smart. The Liptak down in front. Tregenza likes the situation. Probing kick intended for Modra. Great mark. Working off Tape. And I think relish the difference there. Tape as opposed to Turner. And had the strength that time to get rid of his marker.
Yes, and Jamie Tape is very good in the air too, so that is terrific body work there by Modra. The ball came his side, most important, and he was able to outmaneuver Jamie Tape.
As I said, a terrific record against Richmond. He's adding to it tonight. Last season got a number of goals against them as well. And what's he done here? He's put it through. Modra's got 4. It seems, despite rough patches of form, when it comes to the Tigers, he bombs up.
Yes, it's been amazing, the transformation in Tony Modra in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Tregenza's been good, starting to get some ball midfield running, and I believe he's kicking the ball better now than at any stage since his time at the Crows. And that wonderful strength then, just able to edge him out nicely.
So Crow fans find full voice again. Pittman kick is smothered, however, taken by Maxfield. Down towards half-forward, clean molds the lot. Who's got the pace? Robran's charging towards the boundary line. He sees it over. There'll be a throw-in Richmond's left forward pocket. A change for the Crows. Visca to come on for the weed. Charles, Robran, Jarman, Broderick set to pounce. He applies a tackle illegally, said the umpire. Held when he didn't have it. So Edwards, the recipient. Robran couldn't hold it. They're in trouble now. Slater also had trouble handling it. And Knights, eventually it's Hart who gives it away. And they do get out of trouble through McDermott to Visca. Almost down the centre wing, plays on quickly with a hand pass. A chance now for Liptak to right half forward. Miranda and Rashudo. It's going to go the way of Miranda. And the Crow fans don't like it. Miranda. Knights in the hands of the trainers. Liptak waiting down. Visca in real trouble. So too Jarman and Hart. They keep it going. It's Visca, gives it to Pittman and off to Campbell. Down towards Modra. They're coming back again.
That was a terrific kick from Connell there. I mean, he really didn't measure the kick well, and sometimes a bit critical of him, but that was excellent execution. And Tate trying to do everything he possibly could, but the kick was just too good.
Tony Modra for number 5. They'll erupt if he kicks this. I think they're going to erupt.
Tony Modra's got 5 goals, 3 in this term. And you get the feeling he likes his chances on Jamie Tate. Ball at the base of the pack, McDermott. Claimed front on by Broderick, from behind by Daffy, and the bounce.
Looks a bit of a mismatch too. Turner's actually ended up on Brown by being moved out. Modra's two quick goals on him.
Turner's proven himself this season. I'm sure he'd like the chance to go back and make amends for Modra's good start and dangerous start to this term.
Interesting thing is though, Dennis, they've only got back to the half-time score of 13 points, so you know, it's not danger or panic time yet.
Just under 8 minutes till three-quarter time. Broderick had it, then lost it. Rashudo comes to Brown eventually. Flicks it over the top. Tregenza inside the 50. Modra comes up to meet it. It bounced obligingly for Tate. Threw it on the boot. Gained about 20 metres. Turner was tackled from behind. Hacked out of mid-air wide by Bullis. And now Bauer, who kicked a very good goal earlier in this term. Just past the wing. Charles was up. Off hands. Opportunity for Daffy. Naish went in with courage. So did Charles. That's held to him. The ball up. So a new look forward line for the Tigers too. As we see Liptak. Matthew Liptak. He's off the ground. Here's Connell. Rogers comes away with the right foot. Pulls it too much. So Slater is now playing full forward for the Tigers. Jurica's off the ground. 13-6, 10-10.
14 points. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Pittman, soccer style. Campbell with pace and desperation. Deer. Maynard. And eventually over the line.
Interesting play then from Wayne Campbell to try and push that ball back in. Most players, like half forward line, you probably take a bit of a chance to get a score.
Jason Tawney coming onto the ground. A run. Wayne Campbell wobbles at the full forward. It'll probably finish out of bounds. No, Benny Gale decides to flick it back in. Might have been the right option because it went from Edwards to Smart. Nigel Smart pumps it back towards the centre wing. Bond is at the back for Richmond. He tumbles it up towards the 50 and it's down the ground. Bond has copped a heavy one. No, just had the wind knocked out of his sails, but it is down the ground. Well, he's quickly coming off. Keep an eye on him. And here's the kick from Jason Tawney, who's just come on. It's gone over the top of the high.
It's another one of those kicks we've seen a lot this year that have actually floated over the back of the pack, and if it wasn't for Tregenza touching, it would have been a goal.
Connell from the back pocket just chips away to a shooter who's down towards half-back. Chris Bond on the bench. As Rashudo kicks towards centre wing. A power over the top. And eventually it's Brown who sees it over the line on the wings. Girls, what news do you have on that injury to Bond?
Yes, it's a bad one. It's where male players don't like to get a knock, and it's a bit sore.
Yes, the understatement. Toby's okay. It's socket off the ground. Daffy is there, runs into Jarman. Miranda towards the boundary line. A cry of foul from Crow fans, but all to no avail. They'll be a throw.
Just outside the 50, just over 5 minutes till three-quarter time. Dia, uncontested. Moved at about 5 metres. Hart picks it up, kicks inside the 50. Modra leads in the race. Well played by Tate. Timely fist. Broderick camped in front, comes away. He's had a wonderful night. Boots it back towards half-back. A couple of players fell over approaching the ball. Gale finished up on his knees. McCartney, slick hands. Now Connell sends it back inside the 50 once more. Modric's got the run. Up he goes. Couldn't hang on. Down in front, Brown with the right foot that time. Turner flicks it back towards the boundary. That was well played. The boundary throw in right on the 50. You had the feeling that time that Modra was set up for the big leap. Didn't get quite as high as we would have expected or liked. Pittman knocks it forward. The body's going in willingly. Hart smothered off the boot. Miranda couldn't control it. Sliding in Jarman. Miranda immediately gets him. Whistle. And a bounce. Just over 4 minutes till three-quarter time. 13-7 plays 10-10.
Pittman. Big men have really nullified each other so far tonight in many ways. Connell, was he held? Yes, said the umpire. Gives it away to Rashudo, who plays on. He's 47 metres out. Modra's in the pack. He's at the front, but he couldn't take the mark. Jarman's at the back. Miranda's on his hammer. Jarman still going, Jars! And rams it into the woodwork from behind. Had a big year. She loves it, doesn't she? Oh, golly, how did he miss that?
Actually, the pressure in this game has been intense as I've seen for a while. It's really been on for the go, and this guy's really got a lot of the footy.
Broderick certainly has.
So it's this one.
15 and 9 for Broderick. Rogers has also done well. Kicks it towards the 50. Oh, beautifully picked up by Tawney. Kicks it in towards Slater. The big man's in the right forward pocket. Gives it over the top again. And he's unable to get a boot to it. It's a behind. Great desperation. Tyson Edwards. The last line of defence is 13-8. Plays 10-11.
Looked at the back there, didn't it? Still. Play goes on. Jamison. Maynard. Rodney Maynard in the back pocket, approaching three-quarter time. This game in the balance. McCartney. Bond seems to be okay. It's McCartney. Bond looking on the other side of the boundary, kicks it through the wing. Brown, brilliantly done. Took it on the burst, 75 metres out. Modra one out with Tate. Tate wins again. Well, he's been penalised for a push in the back, is it? I'd love to see that again. It seemed a battle of the bodies. The arm, I think it looked worse than it was, but Cloud slides through. Push in the back, says the umpire. I'm not sure there was any weight in that arm, but you can so. He's been penalised. Appearance is everything.
Yeah, one of the tricks, Dennis, is actually to stop the player rather than push him, and just put your arms up and stop. The umpire was right there.
Tony Modra, 35 metres out, going at goal number 6, 4th of the term. He's got it.
9 points the margin. The Crows are hanging on in a thriller. It's Maxfield. Whips it from centre wing down towards Charles. He's almost down to the 50. Can the Tigers reply? Edwards leads Naish in the race for the football. Over it goes. Well, Crow fans would love a big finish here to their disappointing season. Who knows? They may just get it yet. McCartney jostling with Gale. Jarman down in front has been excellent. So too is Broderick. Look at Broderick go.
Actually, Bond's actually come back on to David Brown. He's just got a few kicks on Turner. I'm just looking for Turner. I can't find him. He must have gone off.
Well, it's good news that Bond's okay. Hard at the bottom of the pack.
In fact, Turner's gone down to full forward. So, John Northey just swapping the side around a bit.
Inside at Richmond's attacking zone. Gale tried to go over McCartney. Naish through without the football. Sock it away. First to it will be Nathan Barr. But under pressure. And over the line on the outer side. Throw in. Deer. Connell runs into the bow tackle. Rogers tries to step over some heavy traffic. They may get out of this yet. Naish is on the end of it. He snaps in towards goal. It's a good-looking kick from Chris Naish.
And certainly a goal that Richmond were looking for down in this last minute of this third quarter. As we look, Connell tries to run the gauntlet instead of giving off. Rogers does very well. Broderick tries to set up Naish, which he does, and almost from 1.5 steps kicks it, and Scott Turner and young Robran let the ball go over their head for a goal.
So despite the best efforts of the Crows and Tony Modra in particular, the margin actually greater than it was at the half. It's out to 15 points now. It was 13 at half-time. Smart's got other ideas. Kicks inside the 50. Rashudo almost 55 metres out. Still keeps the ball going. Maynard, the clock is down to 24 seconds. Pesh has got it now from the 50. Pesh goes down towards full forward. Again, the strength of Modra. Tape has done pretty well, but in that time you get the feeling Modra likes his chances. Just working off his man. Kick to his advantage as well, dropping back. Tape unable to make any inroads trying to go back. So Modra looking at a 5-goal term right here. His first of the year. The 7th of this game. And he will kick after the siren. So 15 points. He can't run around now. If he goes to his left, will be called to play on. It will be a dead ball. Knowing that, he tries to banana it back and puts it out of bounds in the opposite pocket. Although it would be a brave umpire who would call play on at Football Park. Still, three-quarter time. Tony Modra, 4 goals in the quarter. He's got 6 in this game. Justin Charles 3. He's the chief goal scorer for the Tigers. Didn't add in that quarter as they've shuffled their forward line around. Here's the mark again.
Yes, that pushing and shoving. I just wonder whether Turner will go back there now. He has looked very dangerous. Tape, as you said, Dennis, has done okay, but he just seems to have that shade of strength over Jamie Tape.
No fault of Tape's. Three-quarter time at Football Park. The Crows still with a chance to close their season with a victory. The Tigers lead 92-77.
Join Sandy and the crew on Friday night for a look at the lighter side of footy with Four Quarters.
Three-quarter time here at Football Park in South Australia, and this game still up for grabs, although Richmond leads 48-92. The margin is 15 points over Adelaide, 11-11, 77.
7 Sports is proud to present this match as part of the 1995 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
And Robert Shaw having plenty to say at the three-quarter time, revving up his charges and ripping into them. Fans here at Football Park have a quarter left of live action for the season. And it's hibernation time till early next year. Let's go down to the boundary line. Curls, can they get up?
Well, it's still anybody's game, Sandy, but different approach from both coaches in. John Northey, very individual, no board, didn't worry about that, just went around with individual players, had a quiet chat, particularly Jamie Tate telling him how to try and body Modra out, whereas on the other hand, Robert Shaw, looking at the board a lot, very, very vocal, and demanded a lot more from his players to win this game. Anybody's game, though.
Yes, he certainly was vocal. So the final quarter of football at Football Park for 95. The home side are down by 15 points. Pittman, Gale. And the final term is underway. Maxfield whips it off quickly down towards half-forward. First goal, vital. Adelaide have been able to close the gap. They have not been able to overtake.
Sandy, Gale going into ruck has done this a lot of times this year and has worked very well. So Deere getting a rest and Gale into ruck.
Here's Campbell, 60 metres out. Naish, 50 metres out. A high kick in towards full forward. Robran straight to Turner. Thank you.
So Scott Turner, who had his troubles early with Modra, I thought, that second and early in the third quarter. Charles with a great lead. Off-handed handball, almost as original throw, and then Robran trying to help out. Instead of tapping it, son learned to punch, clear the area, and run down by Turner.
It's been a big difference tonight. Richmond have started every term very well, certainly better than the Crows, who have had to fight back in every quarter. 10 goal scorers for the Tigers tonight, and their leading goal scorer, Nick Daffy, hasn't kicked one. Would have been a good price coming in. So we're back in the middle. Pittman wins it decisively. Hart missed the ball. Advanced by Rashudo. Bond against the flow, only as far as Maynard. McDermott has had a pretty good night. He's responsible for Daffy early. Well done by Connell. This is Brown inside the 50. Good chase down there by Bauer. Affected the kick, and Daffy getting back in defence now. Nick Daffy, quality player, boots towards midfield. Good kick. Spotted Rogers. Put it out in front of him in space. Rogers is looking for Gale. Reaches over the top of Pittman. Had to be a mark. It's paid. Prescott played on, then slipped over. Campbell averaging 24 possessions a game. He's down on that tonight. Finds Jurica with a brilliant left foot kick. Jurica spent some time on the bench tonight. Yet to kick a goal. So it's close with Daffy down and Jurica down.
Someone's got a kick in them, and as you said, 10 of them. Great skills on the left-hand side then from Wayne Campbell.
Stephen Jurica, the 26th man taken in the 93 draft. 19 goals in 11 games, including 5 against the Bombers in round 15. He's got his first of the night. Makes it tough for the Crows.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Dennis, they have got away very well from the centre of the bounce. Start of the quarter, and Brendon Gale's got 2 of them going now. He set this one up with a good mark out wide, and then Campbell, just great skills. Good jump in front, and Jamison really no chance.
104 plays 77. The challenge is there for the Crows. Matthew Knights wants to celebrate his 150th, and he kicks down towards the 50. Plenty of pushing and shoving going on. Plays allowed to go on. Naish picks himself up to get caught from behind. Tregenza, and he loses it. Edwards gives it away to McCartney, McDermott and Jarman. Away goes Jarman, over the centre, towards Nigel Smart. 65 metres from home. Modra, of course, will be his target. He's been in the thick of things. Gale drops back. No mark to Modra. He's called to play on. It's held and there'll be a bounce.
No, Gale obviously touched that. Good call by the umpire.
Knights under pressure towards the line. Very, very skillful. Great to watch. Keeps it in play. Broderick, after a wonderful start, look out, bow. He's going to be okay. He's got Maxfield going with him. Stewie Maxfield runs his full distance. Long and low to full forward. Turner at the back, who's waiting down in front. No one there for the Tigers at the moment. Robran tries to stop it. Jamison is there. It's going to be a Crows free kick. It'll go the way of Rod Jamison, who can go short to Tyson Edwards. Edwards, a bit of time. Looks towards centre wing and pinpoints. Perfect pass to Simon Tregenza.
Now Rashudo. McCartney. Out wide Connell. Took a blast from Robert Shaw at three-quarter time. That video we saw was directed at Connell. He's had a wonderful season inside the 50. Was he pushed in the back? Modra. According to the umpire, Woolers over the ball. Was sat on it. Pesh tries to crash his way out. Bond hog-tied in.
Tennis at the moment, hypothetical, with the scoreboard stopping here now, and no different to the one earlier, so I can't work that out. They would actually play the Eagles at the moment, but the Eagles, of course, have got to play tomorrow. So North Melbourne is still a chance.
Okay, McLeod. Prescott. Campbell. Oh, taken high. He's had a tough night, Chris Bond. And Rashudo.
Careful, boys.
The object of some attention. Just over 15 minutes remaining in this game. Richmond would like to finish third. It helps also in the seedings in the second week of the finals. Just the first week as Miranda's got this one, running it up towards right half back. Miranda, there are whistles everywhere. It's like I'm not sure of the collective noun for cicadas, but we've got a group of them out there.
And Dennis, you've actually worked out the second round of the finals, have you?
Oh, no. Just saying when they seed them and they sit down after the first week, third carries a slight weight advantage, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You've obviously worked it out.
Oh, no, I haven't got through next week yet.
No, week 1, 2 and 4, 1, 3 and 4, okay. Week 2 is pretty hard.
There goes the kick, long from Knights up towards half forward. This is Hart. Stood up in the tackle, went over the shoulder. McDermott was buried. Turner off the ground, down towards the pocket. Socket forward by Jamison, outside the 50. Rogers will send it back in. Not a particularly good kick. They come from all angles. The only man who really went hard at the ball was McCartney. He takes the mark. Jamison pushing up from fullback. Jarman in space, forward of halfback. Wiedemann wants the ball out in front. Perfectly delivered. Wiedemann has it, left half forward.
Wants to go on with it. Towards Modra and Tate, but he's got another free kick. Pushed in the back. Tony Modra will shoot for his 7th goal.
It's been good though. He's led hard. He's made Tate take him to the footy, and bodies tangle up, of course, and accidents happen.
Been an amazing turnaround, hasn't it? 6 against Melbourne. This is for number 7. Starts it right, and it's way right. Gale on the last line of defence. Goes long towards Rogers. Recovers well. And gets his kick down towards Charles, who could have got a nudge. Clean bowls everyone except McDermott. The old stages combine. Jarman in towards Maynard, just forward of centre. Rodney Maynard in his 81st game goes up towards half forward. Gale late on the scene, but he affects the spoil down to Campbell. Shows them a little bit of the footy, then kicks it high under pressure. And a good mark taken by Daffy. He's on half-back. Relieves the pressure going towards Charles on centre wing. Jarman could have been held. Look at that. They pounce upon that ball. Jars picks himself up. He's chatting away. At the moment, he and the Crows are staring at a 27-point deficit. And time's ticking away. Brendon tackling in hope as he looks at umpire Mark Westgarth. All to no avail. Rogers, Pittman, Knights. Gains 25-30 metres. Goes over the line on the outer side.
Just thinking where this flow that Richmond had earlier has gone, and it really has been the manning up of those guys in the middle. Broderick's been terrific, but he's only had 13 possessions in 2.5 quarters, and yet he had 13 in the first quarter. So there's been much more responsibility. Oh, I got him a touch.
There he is. You got him another one. And another one for Campbell. He kicked an amazing goal earlier. He's going to be off target here. That's out of bounds on the full. It's going to be interesting too with the crowd. Another full house tonight. Normally at this stage of a final quarter, when they're down by 4 or 5 goals, they tend to stream out. But maybe they'll stay to the end to say thank you for the season, even though it's been a little disappointing. We'll wait and see.
Is that old lang syne?
I'll stick around the boo, I think. You're an optimist, you are?
Well, you have to be. I'll look towards next year. Oh, Stewie, you threw it out.
That is a try.
And away they go. Tregenza to Brown. Bow on his hammer. And Matthew Knight's very, very happy with that persistence.
Yes, they're about 50-odd possessions down, Richmond, on Adelaide, and yet obviously leading on the scoreboard. They do play efficiently.
Yes, Smart throws it on the boot. Rogers hacks it out of mid-air. Too far. Six on the floor. It's a good effort, wasn't it? Great coordination, timing the kick like that. This is Connell. Forward of centre wing. Great kick too, finds Modra. Just over 11 minutes till full time. Tony Modra's got 6. 4 coming in the third quarter.
Yeah, good kick. Has improved that a couple of times tonight. That's a good sign. And now Scott Turner obviously back there on him.
So they're down by 27 points. Still time enough, I suppose, but they've got to get cracking. They need this starter right here. Tony Modra slides it across the face. I guess their football tonight has been symptomatic of their season. The Adelaide Crows, they've teased their supporters again tonight. And those supporters had high hopes coming into the season. Now those hopes have fallen further than the pacer. It's been a tough year. Broderick, short. Bond, about 20 metres out from his own defensive goal, squares it. Bauer, he's in right half back. Rogers, Tregenza drags him down. Turner, they've got the numbers and that will tell the story. Bauer gets the kick through centre wing towards half forward. In front Charles, and he reaps the reward. He can't believe it. Charles goes looking for Jurica. Timely fist from Jamison. Clean ball Tawney. Maxfield sent away on his left side, as is the case with Knights outside the 50. Knights comes back. He wants that left foot. He pulls it back towards full forward. Tapes on the forward line now. Worked off his man. Couldn't complete the mark. Gets in front. The 2 number 5s. Robran's got him. The umpire wants it. Under 10 minutes to run out the Crows season.
26 points the margin. The bounce is not a good one. Robran picks it up. Almost retrieve it himself. Bickley towards Brown. Visca couldn't take it cleanly. Brown piles in over the top. Matthew Knight still encouraging his players, talking to them. As the Tigers are back in the finals race for the first time in 13 years. Pittman and Gale again. Pittman front spot. Broderick, the Wombat to half forward. Clean bowls just about all of them again. Well, here's a chance for the youngster. He wheels around Jurica. He tumbles it in towards forward line. But he's sadly astray.
So if the Eagles win tomorrow, Richmond will then play North Melbourne, and you would think Carlton or Geelong would win their first round, so they a good chance to get a double chance.
Duncan Kellaway.
What a pretty sight for Duncan Kellaway. Let's hope that he's going to be okay. Jamison on the last line of defence. Well, he just heads for a little bit of space and he spins it like Shane Warne on the green top. And spins over the line. Hart from the throw-in, but Naish 60 metres out. Puts them inside 50. Charles is forced to defend. Here's Knights, the left footer. He pulls it back with the left foot beautifully.
32 points then. Tigers on top. Pittman knocks it down. Hart kicks it very high. Gains about 15 metres over the top. A terrific grab there taken by Brown. Well, Bond must wonder where he came from. Brown squares it. Connell has it. Tawney comes from behind to pick him up. Rashudo, out the wisdom of that hand pass. Brown inside the 50. Heads for home. He's wide of the mark. So the Tigers, I'll give it a shake too. Don't worry about that. What might have been. They've lost a couple of quality players. Matthew Richardson, Tony Free. But still, they've kept on winning. Credit to John Northey, I mentioned earlier, coaching game number 232, looking for win number 128. Here's Rogers around the outer side. And that's not bad. You look at his career, after a 6-16 start with the Sydney Swans, John Northey knows all about improving football teams. Didn't get the chance with the Swans, who we'll see tomorrow. Looking forward to that one against Collingwood. And Collingwood with everything to play for. Tregenza to Smart, peels off half back, goes through the centre. Daffy, the leaper from behind, didn't touch the ball. Bond did. Well played. Knights, plenty of possessions in this final term. Good lead by the trainer. Jurica trying to knock at Goalwood. McDermott, Edwards running out of space. Bickley boots it back towards the middle. Waiting behind Miranda. Nicely done. Bauer, meters in the clear. Quick thinking by Bauer. Tried to kick it over the pack, but as it was, didn't get onto the spiral. Robran getting back, took the mark, gives it to Jarman.
Jarman to half back, and he'll take it back again. Or will he? Eventually shovels it out towards McDermott, who pops it over to Brown. Caught by Prescott. Fine tackle to lock it up in the middle. But there's been a free kick. The holding was too long on Rashudo, and he'll take it from the centre. Mark Rashudo has Visca out wide. Over 6 minutes now remaining. Richmond looking pretty safe. Passes into Maynard just inside 50. To Jarman. Directly in front and a little closer to goal. Andrew Jarman kicked 2 goals in the second quarter. It's his 93rd game tonight. And one of his best seasons.
Yes, this will be the first Crows goal if they get it in this last quarter, so it's been slightly disappointing thus far from the Crows.
I'm afraid it's still going to be disappointing. Pulling it to the left from behind. 11-14, so they've added 3 behinds for the quarter. Here's Bauer. Riding the bump and going on with the job. Quickly gives it away to Bond. Been in the thick of things tonight. Chris Bond just pops it over the wing area towards Chris Naish. And Bond's drifted down. He can go short to him again if he likes. The moment has gone now, and he'll look down towards half forward. Towards Charles and co. They're all down there. Tape as well. Edwards under pressure. Over the line. Right half forward for Richmond. 5 straight kicks in it. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Another excellent crowd in attendance tonight as Jarman tries to get away, but he gets caught. Visca working hard. Gee, there was some How do you do going on in there? Bond is still at the bottom with Jarman. Keep an eye on things as Tregenza comes away. Up towards half forward. The Tiger defence now working well. And this is Daffy bringing it away. Back towards half forward. Young Jason Tawney is there. Richmond looking to go inside 50 to the diving Rogers. Couldn't quite claim it. Connell shoved in the back. Play goes on. Richmond have possession still. Not out of it, however. Daffy. Well, if they're going to finish, some are going to finish in a blaze of glory, if you want to call it that. It's Knights from 60 metres. Has a look up towards Tape, who leads into the pocket, and he takes the mark. Crowd of 40,163 have just seen Matthew Rogers take a mark. He'll have a shot in front of the scoreboard. Another excellent crowd.
Now was that collision between, was it Jurica coming up the ground as we see Tape in the pocket? Jurica and McLeod, who was fighting out of division, I think, there.
Rogers, former South Adelaide player, looking for his second goal. He kicked one in the first. He's kicking from 40 metres. Up go the black and gold flags. The Tides are home at Football Park.
And during that break, Chris McDermott came off the ground. Not sure everybody noticed that was the case. And if it is the case, that's a little unfortunate, because probably he didn't get his due there. This could be his last appearance. Still, back in the centre square, the Tigers trying to work it forward once more. Wiedemann's in the road, though. Tackled by Charles. Looping hand pass from Broderick sends Bauer away. He can run to the 50. Long kick, telling kick. Not quite the carry. Jurica going back with Robran. I think it may have been actually the forward who touched it, but had he not, then I think the defender would have got a hand to it as well. Both lunging back after that one. So just over 3 minutes to go. And Richmond putting the finishing touches to their preparation for the finals. Connell, untidy hand pass. Here's Naish, only needs half a chance. Broderick well inside the 50 now, goes for goal. Very good kick. So he's finishing as he started. His second goal coming from his 30th possession.
Very disappointing last quarter, and just sitting back and watching and just reflecting, and Paul Broderick, kick of left foot, he is a really good player and a welcome acquisition to the Richmond side. Those midfielders, they run through, and they've got a number of them, as we talked about a few times tonight.
80 plays, 123. It's ballooned out to 43 points. Stewie Maxfield sets them alight again towards Campbell. Hart almost ran into his teammate. Oh, Campbell copped a beauty from the weed, but he bounces straight up again. McCartney gives it to Rashudo, and they're out of trouble. To the outer side, Connell and Rogers give chase. Connell first to it. He's had an excellent year, just missed one game through injury. There's a chance for the club championship award, I'm sure, for the Crows, as Tape takes it from the middle, kicks it long up to full forward. No one able to complete the mark. Jurica was there, Visco also. Robran claimed, ball spills free. Robran still there. At the bottom was Edwards. Visca bounces off Jurica, and finally it comes towards Simon Tregenza. He's got a bit of time to bounce his way through half-back. He goes wider to Rashudo, who had Connell there if he wanted him. He elects to take the kick towards Jarman. Miranda's there with him. Could have been some holding on there on Daffy. And in fact it was, said the umpire. Nick Daffy will take the free kick on half-back. Young man from North Gambia in the Western Border League finds Miranda. He goes long up towards centre wing. Charles the flyer, Bickley did some bullocking work early. He goes to half forward. Jamison was the flyer. Miranda was held again. He'll get another free kick.
Miranda from half back comes towards the middle. Knights just forward of half back now. An angled kick across the ground. So Richmond will qualify third. The Adelaide Crows will have to settle for 9 wins 1995. And you look forward for the Crows. They're an ageing team, and really not many of their young players have come on, so it's going to be an awkward time for them. They'll need something special next season. Admittedly, McGuinness and Wren are missing, but even so. Strong tackle on Jamison. He was paid the free. Advantage is paid. Brown kicks inside the 50. Great grab by Modra. If there is a heartening sign, this is it. He's got 6. Going at number 7. And this will be his season's high if he gets it.
Of course, they'll also have to contend possibly with Port Power.
Yes. A lot of question marks up ahead. The Adelaide Crows, as the siren sounds on their season. Modra goes for goal number 7. There's certain irony there. He finishes with 7, his best effort of the season after the season. It tells you everything about the Adelaide Crows. An exchange of, I guess, good lucks and well dones. And what ifs for Broderick, close to best on ground, 30 possessions. And Andrew Jarman, a fine player this season for the Adelaide Crows, but they didn't have enough of them. Jarman finding a couple of the former Adelaide boys, not Adelaide Crows boys, but just players who played in the South Australian National Football League. McDermott off the ground just minutes before the end, and it was a little disappointing, I thought, because it would have been nice had he come off an ovation from these fans. Then again, Robert Shaw may have been trying to set it up for that ovation, but he almost slipped away unnoticed. He's back on the ground as we go down to Neil Kerley.
Thanks very much, Dennis. Well, Matthew, a very good preparation for next week's final.
Yeah, it was good tonight. We come over with a mission to get the job done. Carlton done the right thing by us today, and we've moved up to 3rd, so that's what we're aiming for, and it was a great effort by the boys.
Been a long wait for you, 150 games. This is your first final coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I've been through with the club, and we used to get a few beltings and went through a few hard times. It makes it all the more worth it to stay around, and this club's really building now. We're looking forward to the finals.
They're a very exciting team to watch, Richmond. They work very hard as a unit, and the thought is always about doing something for your teammate, it seems.
Yeah, it's really John Northey's got credit for that. He's really brought that into the team. We've got young, enthusiastic blokes, and they want to chase, they want to tackle. So you can't ask for much more, Kels.
And you got a very good centre in work in midfield there with yourself, Broderick, and young Campbell, interchanging and mixing up. It's a nice pattern.
Yeah, Campbell, Broderick, and myself, we work it out, and Big Deary's doing a great job in the ruck. And then we get help from the wings with Bauer and Maxfield. So it's really a good mix there, and hopefully we've got plenty of legs for next week, mate.
You'll have a lot of supporters, and good luck, Matty. All the best.
Thanks, Kels.
Yes, thank you, Curl. So after 13 years, finals time again for the Tigers, as the Crows players also thank their fans for the season. A disappointing season, Malcolm.
Yes, 9 wins. The start of the year when they played in that night grand final, I think everyone in the footballing world decided that this was a top 2 or 3 side. And when you only come home with 9 wins, you just feel a bit cheated and a bit empty. I'd suggest a lot of Adelaide feels that way, but that is a very, very improved Richmond side. They had that great run towards the end of last year. They lost a couple late and they were disappointed, but after winning 7 in a row, I think it was early in the year, they were just terrific at the way they kept at it.
Yes, applause for 150 games for Matthew Knights, and Benny Gale saying, go on, 1-5-0. Lead the way, you deserve it. But now the real job starts for Richmond. John Northey down there with his charges. For Wayne Campbell. Matthew Rogers kicked a goal in the final term. Nathan Barr, dynamic, going down the wing. Tiger supporters that have made the trip across. Very, very happy indeed with their team's performance. It was a hit-and-run mission. They came over on a 5 o'clock plane, and there's a man they dearly love back in that side. But his time will come, Matty Richardson. Yes, they came over on the 5 o'clock plane, straight to the ground, did what they had to do, and the Tiger fans very, very happy. They head down the tunnel as they prepare now for their finals campaign. Their first in 13 years. They had some heady days, of course, particularly in 1980. They belted Collingwood in a memorable grand final. Yes, they certainly are from Tigerland. Richmond, 1909, 123. March into the finals. Adelaide at 12-14, 86.
The A to Z of the sporting week is here on 7 every Sunday morning on Sports World.
And so the Adelaide Crows season has come to an end for 1995. Richmond successful and they march into the finals from third spot. 1909, 123. Adelaide, 12-14, 86.
The 1995 AFL Premiership season. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, McDonald's, Mobil, Carlton Draft and National Australia Bank.
Well, we've seen them all right from the start of the year when, of course, we saw Adelaide in sensational form in the Ansett Cup and we thought, hello, is there going to be a trophy, another trophy, come September going across the border? A disappointing finish, but on the other hand, the Tigers, what a year for them.
It's been sensational, really. There's no other word for it. They're the most improved team in the competition. There's absolutely no doubt about that. 15 and a half wins. I think if anyone said at the start of the year that the Tigers would win 15 and a half and Adelaide would win 9, you'd say that could easily have been a reverse position.
Well, I wonder what their coach thinks, because John Northey is with Neil Kerley now. He might have a comment on that question, Curls.
Yeah, thanks, Sandy. Well, John, it is important. It's been a hard road. You've been now back a few years. You've developed a very good young team and you've developed a very good pattern in the way they play.
Oh yes, and I think we've had that all the year. You know, the boys are really committed. I think they're very, very disciplined, and I think our trademark, of course, is our teamwork. And once you have great teamwork, and they just work so hard for one another, I mean, it's always difficult at the end of the day to pick out our best players. And you know, I think that's just the signs of a good team.
Last year, I did say on Channel 7 that Richmond, to me, are a blue singlet team. They are a very, very hard-working team, and they've got very good team discipline. They seem to enjoy trying to help one another out.
Oh yes, I think you can see that all over the ground. You know, if a player runs loose, we do have one of our teammates running down the ground, running very hard. I mean, they are committed in their running and certainly committed around the ball. But I dare say that's the beauty of our team, as you're saying, and everybody else knows, and certainly our players here, that they do work very, very hard for one another.
You've been involved in premierships yourself as a player, played in 2 and were successful. You must be really looking forward to this year's final.
Well, we haven't been there since '82, you know, and I know all our supporters out there are looking and saying that's tremendous. You know, we've still got a way to go, but our first taste of the finals, which, you know, for Richmond has been a long, long time and a lot of work put in by a lot of people. Even though we're having a bit of success now, there's a lot of people prior to me coming and all the people we have around us. So it's all for everybody, and you know, I'm sure once we start, we'll give it one hell of a shake.
John, it's Sandy Roberts up here in the commentary position. Congratulations tonight and on the season. Duncan Kellaway, he looked as though he'd run into a brick wall. Firstly, how is he, and what sort of depth have you got at the club? Players coming back like a Stuart Wigney going into the finals.
Well, Duncan, yes, he'll be all right. He was just a bit dazed out there. He's got to have a check on his nose, I dare say. It looks a bit crooked to me. But knowing Duncan Kellaway, and I'm sure you fellas know him equally as well, you know, he's that hard and he's a tremendous young fellow, and he'll certainly be out there next week. Stewie Wigney and Michael Gale both played in the reserves today. Both did a fairly good job. You know, I'm just worried about their fitness, but I mean, we do have the depth if we need, or we require a bit more experience out there, and perhaps we do. That's something that we have to decide. But apart from those two, you know, that's about it. But I must say it's credit to our players. We've had a lot of injuries throughout the year, and the young fellows that have come in have done very, very well for us, and they've certainly gained a great deal of experience.
And John, just one interesting point too, as far as Richmond's concerned. You come over here on the late fight at something like 5 o'clock, and it's straight to the ground, a real hit and run mission?
Oh, look, I just couldn't see any point in coming over here early and sitting around and doing nothing. I mean, they stay at home, they're in their own natural environment. They hop on, it's just like a bus trip. You hop on the bus trip for 45 minutes and you're here. I just couldn't see any reason why we would come any earlier.
John, Malcolm Blight, how are you? Well done.
Good, thanks, Malcolm.
You're still pinching yourself, John. I mean, it's been a fantastic year for you. 12 goal kickers tonight.
12, is that right?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the stats, but, you know, once again, that's the beauty about what we've got. I think that we're not relying wholly and solely on one person, because they tagged Campbell tonight, that we certainly expected that. And then you get Broderick playing very well, and then you have Rogers out on the wing, and just young Mark Miranda came on and did a pretty good job. So just all round, I think if they block one avenue anywhere, we do have other avenues.
John, I've just got a feeling during the game that you might have tried something with Jamie Tape on Modra. Was that just a bit of a look? I mean, Turner's been good for you all there. Just something to look for the next few weeks, perhaps?
Oh, yes. I think you've always got to have something else up your sleeve. You know, the fullback has got a terrible job, I must say. First of all, he's got to stop the full forward, and then he's got to try and kick out to a target. And Scotty's had a lot of pressure on him, and I just felt, you know, Jamie Tape, who comes from South Australia, of course, he would have loved to have had a crack at Modra, and unfortunately he just gave a couple of free kicks away. But I mean, if Turner isn't there, as you're saying, we have to look at alternatives, and it did give us a chance to have a look at him.
Charles early, I thought he really got you going early, that tall fella at centre forward.
Well,
just faded out a bit. But
yes, he did fade out a bit, but he was certainly very good early, and he gave us a great target. I mean, he runs very well, and he marks the ball, and certainly kicks the ball straight, doesn't he? And, you know, that's a great feature of his game. And, of course, with Jurica up there and Benny Gale, it really gives our team a good chance to mark the ball. Not only that, the crummers, and we had a few crummers down tonight, I thought too, but our forward line's going very well.
Well, John, you finished the home and away in third spot, the finals campaign.
Terrific. Yeah.
For the first time in 13 years. Which is the best team you've played so far this year?
Oh, look, I think they've all been hard. We're just a hard-working team, I think, and I'm sure all our players just come off the ground saying that was the hardest game, so it's pretty difficult at this stage. We've had a couple of hidings by St Kilda and one against the Bears, of course, you know. Yeah. So it's just it's very difficult to say at this stage, but, you know, no doubt, I dare say those hard teams are still in front of us.
Now, look, I've just got to ask you one question, because in the past week or so, we've seen an extraordinary photo of Neil Baum, and it looked as though from Barmy's face, coaching was the last thing in the world he wanted to do. You seem very relaxed.
Oh, yes. Look, you come over here, you know, expecting to win, and Carlton did the right thing by us today, gave us a chance to jump up the ladder, and probably the main thing I'm pleased about, I was heading to Perth tonight, but I don't have to go now, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Good on you, John. Congratulations on your season, and all the very best for the finals.
Good on you. Thanks very much.
John Northey and the Richmond Football Club. Exciting times at Punt Road, isn't it?
Well, that one spot does mean a hell of a difference, I think, come finals time. Yep. They can almost afford to have a hiccup, not that they'd want to, but one playing two, you think 1 and 2 will win a game, so it puts them right in the good seat.
Well, let's have a look at some of the highlights from tonight. They didn't have too many hiccups here at Football Park.
No, Adelaide got off to a bad start, didn't they? And they were good early. You know, Campbell, even though he was quiet for times, Bauer was quiet for times, there were times when they just contribute. And I think John Northey's comment about they're a very even football team makes them a dangerous team.
Certainly when they move the ball into attack is their opponents.
Crows did come back though, didn't they? I mean, they did try hard. The last quarter was just disappointing. You thought the last game of the year they might have it, but this bloke was good.
He was the obvious plus. I mean, in the past couple of weeks, isn't he? That's one shining light for them in the future.
Oh, no doubt at all. And, you know, what they do from here, there's that Campbell. So he just has that bit of class.
Goal, wasn't it?
It was, and just chipped in occasionally. With Modra, you know, I think he needs a good rest, and then hopefully he can knuckle down and have a good season.
I believe he is going to have a good rest. I think it's going to start tomorrow.
Well, I think most players will be in that boat. The guys that have finished, I mean, you know, it's been a long season from all, and they're as disappointed as anyone about not making the finals, I'll bet you.
Oh, my word. My word. And I'm sure they'll be keen to make amends, particularly after the start they made to the season. But Tony Modra finishing with 7. An excellent night for him.
It is a disappointing season though, Sandy, isn't it? 9 wins. It's just, you're a bit off the pace there.
Well, I think also the expectations were so high at the start of the year. That's probably what makes it even worse.
And Scotty Turner getting a goal there, but nine's not far away. I mean, it's not disaster, is it? It's not in a Fitzroy situation where they've won 2 and you're absolutely hopeless at the bottom of the table. I mean, 9 is not enough. 10's going to get you there with a bit of percentage. So they're really 2 games away. They've had a poor percentage for most of the year. So 2 games in a whole season of 22 weeks is not a lot.
And let's not take anything away from the side that has finished third. I mean, they have played tonight one of the top sides in the competition.
Well, what they've got to do is basically what Richmond have done this year. Take some stock, restock it. Robert Shaw's had a year with them now, and from here, I mean, expectations are going to be high. Perhaps Port Adelaide in, and there's Matthew Knight's that wonderful finisher. Been a good player all year for him, hasn't he?
There's been lots of rumours, haven't there? There's been so much talk about Stewie Lowe or a player of that calibre maybe coming over and joining them, and well, what a difference he'd make.
Yes, well, I think they do need it, and that taller marking forward, centre-half forward or centre-half back would certainly help them.
So there's some of the highlights from an excellent performance by the Tigers.
And look at the kicks even, but the handballs, the Crows tried at times to flip the ball around and had many more stats, but that's not unusual for the Richmond side. They don't muck around with it at all. Marks, Crows tend to chip it a bit more. The free kick's pretty even, although the crowd at times certainly didn't show that. The tackling of Tigers, 32-21. Centre hit outs. Thought Pittman got his hand on the ball a fair bit. Greg Deere was down, but the Tigers were good enough to take it away more often.
Now, I'm fascinated by your Sports World votes, because watching you work them out is like watching Boris Spassky play chess in the middle of winter. Let's have a look.
I try and do it by quarters, and I thought Paul Broderick got him going early, consistent, finished off well. Anthony Modra, 7 goals actually, won him right on the siren.
Yep.
Clearly Adelaide's best player, and Matthew Knight's 4 quarters. Rogers and Tregenza also good other players.
Good name for a show, that. 4 quarters.
4 quarters.
Take a break, more shortly. And so round 22 continues to unfold here at Football Park. Richmond, 2 good for Adelaide as we check all the results to date. 19-9, 123. Adelaide, 12-14, 86. Carlton, sensational performance this, to finish with 20 wins after the home and away. 16-12, 108 to Essendon, 9-13, 67. And Geelong, 23-10, 148. Hawthorn were 15-12. So disappointment for the Hawks as they finish well down the ladder after what has been 14 years of being right up at the top. Let's have a look at the goal kickers as they stand at the moment. Gary Ablett, of course, not playing at the moment. Tony Lockett is going to be in form, and the Bears will be hoping he kicks 25 goals tomorrow at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Severio Rocker is also going to be there. Gary Lyon booted 4 for Melbourne. He's on 77. Stewie Lowe finished the season with 76, and Jason Dunstall 6 today against the Cats. He finished with 66.
The 1995 AFL Premiership League ladder, brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Well, of course, the all-important thing there is Richmond, Malcolm, cementing 3rd spot.
Yes, I was interested in John's comment about Richmond not going to Perth. I mean, if the Eagles got beat, I suppose, they still could end up playing West Coast, as I read that.
That is not the only interesting thing. Look at Collingwood. There they are behind Melbourne at the moment. They will do battle at the Sydney Cricket Ground tomorrow, and if they are successful, they will move into 8th position, and Brisbane will drop out. So I think that is going to be just a very, very big day tomorrow. And of course, you'll see it all on 7. In the meantime, we'll take a break and then come back to say farewell. Father's Day could indeed be memorable tomorrow, and it's all going to be happening at the SCG initially. Sydney plays Collingwood. Can the Pies return to the September action? Well, they're going to have to beat Sydney. They're going to have to beat Tony Lockett if they're going to tip Brisbane out. And of course, you'll catch it all on 7 from tomorrow afternoon. Wherever you may be viewing, just check your local guides. But it is going to be big. Get all the presents out of the way early on. You can sit back and enjoy what should be a classic game of football. Just on it, who do you think? Do you think Collingwood can get up?
Well, look, I do. I think they can. Their form last week was ordinary, but the 3 weeks prior to that, I thought their form was good. And Sydney were just a bit fluky last week. Of course, the Lockett factor. I mean, just tantalises.
You can never tell. You'll only find out by joining us on 7. And looking further ahead to the final series, the qualifying final on Friday night. That will be at the MCG on Saturday. There'll be a couple on Saturday. The day one, of course, at Waverley, and then the night match at the MCG. And the Sunday qualifying final, times there are still to be decided. Okay. We have completed round 22. We've completed the home and away. Malcolm Blight is our expert. Who do you think is going to play in the 1995 grand final looking ahead?
Quickly, I think Carlton will certainly be there. 2 or 3 other chances.
Thank you very much. You've sat on the fence again. Join us tomorrow at the SCG.